Welcome back and hello. It's been quite some time, hasn't it? Thanks for joining us, and we hope that in advance that you're going to be having a lot of fun with us tonight. This is our Changeling the Dreaming 20th Anniversary Edition Chronicle, Toronto by Day, Tales from the Rookery. Now, let me get the important stuff out of the way at the start, and then we'll get to the other important. It's all important, so it's just different importances. As a warning, this is a mature game, and it may explore some dark and troubling themes. These may include, but are not restricted to, body horror, gore, violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, mind control, and many other items. Our players have discussed boundaries and consent, and we collectively work to avoid situations that may be triggering or cause issues. The players will always let me know if anything gets uncomfortable by using yellow and red cards right over in the chat. And if you as a viewer ever feel uncomfortable or triggered, please pause and step away. Our streams are available on YouTube after the game, so you can always come back to an episode when you feel more prepared, or just skip the episode altogether and catch the following week episode. And now let's meet our Motley, who've been away enjoying the heck out of the last few weeks, I'm hoping. Hi there, Motley. How's everyone doing? Excellent. Okay, I no longer remember what order we were doing everything in, so I'm going to pick a random order, and we will start with Joanna.
Hello, my name is Joanna, and I will be playing Lara Applewood for you, and both of our pronouns are she, her. I am looking forward to this new adventure out of a big, dark building of many floors.
Thank you, Joanna. Next up, we have Anita.
Hello, everyone. I am Anita. My pronouns are she, they, and I am playing Penny, or Penn Devlin, whose pronouns are Faye, she. And I am your resident Eshu of the group, the storyteller. And I am very happy to be out of the back rooms and into the kind of dreaming, sort of dreaming, pseudo dreaming. What do we even call this place?
The gray.
Let's get started, though. The gray.
Thank you, Anita. Next up, we have Kitty.
Hello, everybody. Kitty Kimchi here, and tonight I'm going to be playing Alette, your mischievous zookeeping puka, who's very excited to be out of the back rooms and I don't know where, Oz, I guess. We'll see.
It's funny because I've been reading Wicked lately too and thinking, Thank you, Kitty. Next up, we have Rose, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rose, and tonight I'll be playing, my pronouns are she, her, and tonight I will be playing Lee, short for Everlee. Also she, her. She is your friendly neighborhood Selkie who is slowly getting her memories back through night terrors. Here we go.
Perhaps not the best way to get it back, but it is effective.
It's, yeah.
Thank you, Rose. Next up, we have Crystal.
Crystal. I play Lily Winters, your friendly neighborhood Corrid. And both character and I are she, her, and definitely glad to not be in the back rooms anymore because, nightmares and weird things in windows and it's strange smells. It's just all wrong. I can't have this.
Come on, I could tell you want to be friends with Dollface.
No, I don't.
And our returning special guest, the man who seems to be knowing what's going on sometimes and other times perhaps knowing what's going on. Michael.
Three-time world champion. No. Yeah. Returning for his debut, whatever. I don't know. Hi, Michael. He, him. I am going to be playing Donovan Osgood, the employer, I guess, for want of a better term, and lackluster guide of the back rooms and now town.
Okay, and I'm going to do this fairly. There are 6 of you. I'm going to roll a 6-sided dice and see who gets this, and see if Michael gets to give us the recap.
Oh, good.
Oh, and interesting. Rose, give us a recap. Bring people up to speed. It's been a little while. Anyone else can jump in and help out too, because you are amnesiac,
What?
So,
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna need some help here. Last I recall, we were heading. Little did we realize the tail end of our adventures in the back rooms. From what I recall, there was a skating arena that I believe we were part of. We met Dollface. We met the guy who spoke only, I think, in song titles or song lyrics. That was really awesomely deciphered and figured out by Lara, or Joanna, as it were.
Well,
That
and
was
Penn,
really,
and actually
Penn.
all of us, I think.
Yeah, I had no clue what was going on. I'll be honest, but that was awesomely figured out. We used what we were given from there to figure our way out of the back rooms, which we finally figured out with. Yeah,
that
just
monster.
figuring
There
out.
was that monster that almost ate you.
There were a couple
Go
monsters
on.
that
There was
almost
that
ate us.
monster. Oh yes, the one
In the-
that grabbed
in
me
the
by
s-
the face. That's right.
Yeah, that one.
And then there's that
that
monster
one.
that chased us through the steam pipes.
Memories.
Yeah.
That I hardly remember. Yeah. And then I
Just
think for the
looking at
last
notes.
leg of it, we were in the mall, in a mall of some kind. And then figuring out the lyrics in the last, was it the last train to Georgia or something like that? We were able to get our way out of the back rooms, and to such great relief, we were back in this gray looking version of the Dreaming near a walled city known as the town called Town. And that's what I recall.
okay, yeah, that's a pretty good synopsis.
That's actually
So,
about right.
what had happened is after going through the mall and checking a few doors and finally finding the right door, we had ended with you stepping out into daylight and stepping out into what looks like a farmer's field. And that's where we ended. So, there you are. It feels like mid-morning, noonish. It doesn't quite have that dry evening feel yet. It feels like it could be any early summer day, except for the fact that the sky is gray. When the doors close behind you, you hear that wonderful wooden thunk of barn doors, and turning around, you see that you stepped out of a barn. Not far behind the barn is what you're going to assume is the other side of the wall, because there's the cement wall going up 12, 14 stories. And it curves off in the distance in both directions. Turning around with your back to the wall, you can see a kind of a dirt laneway sort of thing going off towards what looks like civilization, looks like suburbs. To the left is a field of grains, wheat maybe, could be barley. You're not exactly sure. Lyra's sure. To the right is corn. And as you look, you can see past the wheat. There's looks like a field of greens of some sort. Might be peas, might be broccoli, might be they might be viney. It's a bit of a distance on. The field seems to go a couple of kilometers forward before the burbs, and it's a good so these are big fields. From that field, you can kind of see that from the green, it becomes potatoes, maybe squashes, everything in mounds. And then the next field past that, you can see off in the distance the tiny little figures of cows and sheep grazing. Lara, if you would be so kind as to give me a roll of intelligence. What should I put it at? Intelligence plus science, actually. And your specialty would apply because you are out there where you are used to being in the wild. And you want to get 6s and above. So your 10s double.
4 successes. No 10s, unfortunately.
That's enough. You can tell from the look of the fields that, after every season, if they rotated the fields one to the right, they would be doing such a sustainable system of agriculture. It's not funny, because the plants coming up behind would be refreshing the soil from the plants that are going forward. And yeah, so you can tell that from looking at the various crops and how things are done, that this is an incredibly self-sufficient system of farming that could be done here for who knows how long, generations, perhaps centuries, without depleting the soil.
All right, I share that with the group and let them know that this seems like they've got their act together here. They know their stuff, so they've probably been here for a long, long time.
At the back end of each field, by the barn or by the wall, there are barns, granaries, silos, both for storage and for equipment, you would guess. And between each field is a fairly well-used dirt road laneway that goes off to the suburbs.
Do I see anything resembling like tomatoes or cucumbers? Tomatoes, cucumbers, like any strawberries, maybe something edible for us to take? Well, I mean, everything's edible eventually, but like, stuff that's like readily edible.
Taking something that doesn't belong to us here might be a little bit dangerous. Without
that's
permission.
True. That is true. You're
It's
not wrong.
It's not like when we go and to any one of the gatherings and there's a table laid out for us. It's free to take.
I know. Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't take anything. It would be wrong. I mean,
well, not
I
just
guess
that.
if
It means
we're-
we might be in debt to someone else
well,
at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, there are all those rules and things like that. Well, do we have enough food for at least a little while longer, though?
Did we eat all the sandwiches?
Yeah, storyteller, do we have any food left over?
Yes, we still have a little bit of food, enough to keep you going to wherever you're going to go. Also, everyone, give me a perception plus alertness with a difficulty of 4s or up.
Two successes from Penn.
1
4s and up,
success.
you say?
Yes, please.
5.
5.
And 1's a 10.
Insightful, I would assume, doesn't apply.
Yes, it would.
Oh, in that case, it's 3 successes.
Okay.
5.
5.
1. Sorry, what was it? 6 and up?
4s and up.
Oh, 4s and up. Yeah, 5.
Just waiting on Lee. Sorry?
1.
1?
Yep. 1.
Okay.
She's observant today.
All right. Give me a second here. Stop that. And so, Lily and Donovan, check your chat. The rest of you, and Lily and Donovan as well, the very perceptive ones, this doesn't feel like the dreaming. This feels like farm in the Midwest in the real world. There is no feeling of glamour. Matter of fact, it feels kind of regulated, restricted, not quite banal, but very solid and very real.
This doesn't feel right.
Kitty, you don't have your ears. Here. You look
Are we?
yeah, you
Now you start
don't-
looking
don't-
at each other. You are not in your voil.
So
yeah,
I'm missing my. I'm not as pretty,
Oh, you're
I
still
mean,
pretty, but
you're
you're
still
You're
keeping
still
pretty.
pretty.
you're just less pretty.
but I'm not. I'm not. I'm not pretty. Fine.
Yes.
You're not pretty. You're just pretty.
I don't think that's the important thing here, Mr. Osgood.
You say it feels real,
Feels
Yes.
weird.
or does it feel too real?
Yes.
Hmm.
We need to take a look around.
Yeah.
Not much we can figure out just by standing here going,
Storyteller,
Which way?
we don't have any battery power left in our phones, do we?
What? But we charged them.
We did.
Yes.
check.
Yes,
Yep.
we did.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You do, not a lot, but there is some battery power in. Actually, hang on a second. Okay. Lara's phone definitely has no battery power left in it at all. Pen's does. As does Lee's. Both of them are at about half. Alette is almost out. And Lily is down to about 10%.
I have signal.
No,
yeah.
there is no signal.
That's what I figured. See, if it was really the Midwest, we'd have. Well, actually, maybe not have signal.
Yeah, you might not.
Well, there's this road. It seems to go somewhere.
Well, I guess there's no sense in standing around in a farmer's field till the farmer finds us.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, hey.
I got a message.
Hey. Handy. Oh, it's a notification. I'm at 50%. Okay, cool.
All right, well, what do we think? Should we head towards whatever those buildings are in the distance? Maybe somebody there can help us?
Towns. Donnie, do you remember where town is?
There's not a single Pokemon anywhere in this area.
Not even a Rotata?
Yeah, those things are everywhere.
Nothing.
Super
Yes,
disappointed.
I think you'd at least have a
I don't
picture.
even know if he's even counting my steps anymore. This is very disappointing.
Gotta train out that Magikarp somehow.
Ow.
Are there... There's no Pokestops either?
Town is the Pokestop.
It's just
It's
a
out of character.
green field. Nothing.
Jeez.
Nothing in the middle of nowhere. Well, do we want to try and find something in the middle of somewhere?
Probably a good idea.
Ideas any?
Let's go.
Boy.
Way more organized than it used to be, though. I don't like it.
More organized.
Lily's
here?
just gonna start walking, not quickly, just kind of.
I'll follow up next to Lily. Turn back to Donovan. Wait, you said organized? Like,
Yeah, it used to be charming. It used to have sort of an idyllic pastoral sense to it. This is
did it actually have glamour?
did still does, but
Uh,
it's scant. It's very industrial now. They're very.
you think this is Mayor's problem?
It's the mayor's influence for sure.
Huh.
Hmm.
You didn't
Why
really
we
tell
need
us
to
about.
get rid of him.
You didn't really tell us about Mayor. is Mayor
Storyteller.
is Mayor like us or something else?
Yeah. I honestly don't remember. It's like, is she?
I think your storyteller is
It's a storyteller, but what kind?
Yeah, I'm like, well, I can hear Cliff typing, so that must mean something.
Usually the case.
But does that technically metagaming? I don't know. Oh, there's something going on. No. Yeah, Mayor is a. Waiting for something to pop up on my screen here.
I
Change
do
it.
love the crystal is tattling on the storyteller energy, though. I love it. Just...
Yeah.
It's not tattling. I have no idea what else he's doing. It's just I can hear the keyboard from here.
Hear the clicky clack.
Yeah.
She's a she.
So she is the mayor. She is a fae.
She's a
Seelie
she.
or unseelie? Oh, a she.
Yes.
Oh,
She's a she.
mayor's a she.
She's a she.
Sidhe. Gotcha.
Is that how you spell it?
Wait, so she...
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying she as in the pronoun she is a she as in the one of our types?
Or
she?
is mayor's pronouns he, him?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so what?
Mayor's pronoun is she.
Okay.
She is also.
Is it all three? Is that what you mean?
She is a she.
Okay.
Correct.
Mayor
Perfect.
is
Perfect. Okay.
female, fae.
And a she, specifically fae.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
There we
banshee.
go.
Gotcha.
We will eventually interpret this.
If this is the speed at which we're going to interpret it, this is going to be a very, very fun day.
Third base.
Third
Okay,
base.
so she sells seashells by the seashore. What else
goodness
do we
sake.
need to know about her?
In fact, she was only part of everybody that kind of settled here. It was meant to be a safe space. Town was meant to be sort of this sort of idyllic pastoral thing where fae and humanity could live and cohabit safely.
Wait, there's like there's mundane folk here.
Oh yeah. There was Mayor and there was a Sua and Boggin.
But there's actually like human people? Or is it like points at a sheep?
Yeah, human people.
So
The idea, Stephen was always the idea guy. He arranged the town. Whisper handled all the social interactions with everyone. Storyteller, do I have a name for Mayor?
No,
Mayor
weirdly.
always sort of just took up the mantle of sort of the visible representative.
Okay.
So if people were living with our types in the same, then we're not in a. Then we can't be in the dreaming or whatever, because humans can't live in the dreaming, can they, Pen?
No,
So
not that I know of.
So where are we?
Humans get storyteller. Humans get like lost in the dreaming sometime, correct? Like myths and legends.
Sometimes there are a variety of ways for humans to end up in the dreaming, often brought over as pets, curios, companions, stolen children. Many times, if they're enchanted, they can end up in the dreaming, whether by purpose or by accident. So yes, there are often ways for humans to end up in the dreaming.
It's not unheard of, but they don't generally do well here.
Mm.
I mean, you know, like the stories of like a man goes into the forest and falls asleep and wakes up 100 years later, that sort of thing, like your classic Rip Van Winkle myth.
Okay, so
I mean, or like obviously the stories of changeling children being changelings replacing children in the cribs at night. Terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But
Yeah.
Nobody ever
Or
wondered what
the
happened to the human
the
children they replaced.
person gets taken away to fairy and then gets so lonely and sad about their family that they decide to go home, but they do go home and turns out it's 500 years later.
that sort of thing.
Mm.
Most most kindly Fae don't generally do that, but mostly those are. Time also passes differently in the dreaming. So
the fae
sometimes
that
you
live-
wander in through an arch and then you just come out somewhere else.
So the fae that are here are probably not the kind of fae that we should be spending any.
Well, and if this was supposed to be like an idyllic setting, then the fae that are here could be maybe this is some kind of passion project, but it went horribly wrong.
Exactly.
There we go.
Exactly. We were trying to do a mass human experiment.
How is that
Kinda
not wrong?
Oh
How is
yeah,
it
that's
wrong?
terrible. Absolutely, that's terrible.
How is it?
Well, I mean,
we were going to get the normals, the mundanes, as you call them, to build and maintain, and sort of rely on their, for want of a better term, faith.
oh no.
And then
So no.
things seem to be going terribly.
This is a cult.
I wouldn't call it a cult.
It's a
You are
commune
so disappointing.
led
What would
by
you
a
call it?
charismatic leader
it's not
who
a-
relies on people's
We're not
faith.
being worshipped like gods. I mean,
But are you being respected as a leader with a position of power and influence over suggestible masses?
This is very, by the way, Midwest behavior.
I do that in the real world, so it's
It's
not
a-
like it's different.
It's
It's a
totally
cult.
different.
It's a
The people
cult.
out there can leave. What about these ones?
They're free to go.
But if they go, are they
Pen?
ostracized out of the community?
Go out of what door
Yes.
that we never
They-
found in the wall in the
Okay.
first place?
Okay, so Pen, Alette, Lily, Lee, I think we, the five of us,
Hmm?
should decide whether or not we still want to help Mr. Donovan, because this does not sound like something that I want to have any part in.
I'm only here because we signed papers.
That's really the whole reason why any of us are here is because we still have a contract.
Look,
And I
here's the
mean,
thing.
if we dump him right now, I mean, we can't really find our way home. So we kind of sort of need him
And
a little bit.
helping
Maybe.
me will help town.
But I don't even want to help town. I want town to not be town. I want what? Why is a place like
Well,
this?
I
Well-
mean, maybe helping town will make town not be
Then
town.
help me tear the walls down. It's a failed experiment. I've come to my senses. I've recruited the best, and we can bring an era of prosperity. We can free the besieged people that are here against their will.
Storyteller. Is there something I may
Me.
roll to test the truth in his words?
Let's see if there's something you may roll.
In
Do,
I feel like there probably is. I'm not sure.
Perception. I mean, as a perceptive person, I do have a specialty in insight, but that's one of them.
It would be
Is there an insight?
perception plus. No, there's not an insight.
I think we
unfortunately,
use
in this
perception
game.
plus empathy because we were like
Empathy,
relating to the person.
Yeah, but
You
that's
really
what I
wanna
was like.
empathize.
That's what I first thought was perception plus empathy, and
Yeah, but
Versus
because I'm
lie.
basically trying to figure out if he's lying or not.
Yep.
It would be a.
I would give you either
roll off.
perception plus empathy or wits plus empathy. Your choice.
Is it a contested roll?
Oh, yes, it is.
I'm gonna go wits, and
Please tell me.
does my instinctive count for another one?
Yes,
or
it
is-
does.
Okay.
Yep, and it would be charisma plus performance. Don't know.
Not manipulation.
Charisma or manipulation, whichever you like.
Oh, because I've got a specialty in manipulation. So
There you are. Okay, then yes, you can do
And-
manipulation.
would my performance specialization count as well?
No.
What trying to beat?
6 and up. So sixes and up. You got 3, and yeah, when it's contested, it's just half and half.
One's a 10 also, if that matters.
Oh, then that doubles.
4.
2 10s.
Mhm.
A 7, a 7, a 6, a 6, and a 7.
So you are sure he is telling the truth, Lily?
I am. The storyteller heard.
Crystal may have doubts, but Lily is solidly there. That is the
Of
truth.
course, he's totally not lying to
I'm
us.
totally telling the truth. I'm literally reading what the storyteller told me.
Yes, but I don't trust him either.
Wise woman, yes.
Fair.
Okay, so we got a cult run by Faye.
Cult.
Well then, if it's
Solid
not
leadership is
cults-
not a cult leader.
Right. Whatever you say,
Well,
Mr. Donovan. Let's just get
anyway.
this over with.
All we have is he's the only one who knows how to leave here. We signed contracts that are really, really binding. Afterwards, though,
Afterwards,
will
you're
be-
free to do
afterwards-
whatever you want. and I'll
afterwards
help you
things will
find
be
the
thinged.
way out of here.
If you think they're not, then you were mistaken.
Nicely done, Anita. Great cry. Call your dad. You're call. All right. So this is not
So,
how I
We're
left it.
walking on this dirt road towards maybe
And
civilization.
We need to fix it.
Okay, you've got a fair walk. It looks to be a couple of kilometers worth of farmland before you can kind of see what look like the burbs in the distance. So you could be walking for a few hours. So
So what's
you
the
can
plan?
you can chat, or it could be a very chilly, quiet walk for a certain Mr. Osgood.
Well, from what I know about fixing a cult scenario, is you have to join it and dismantle it from the inside. Kind of like, anarchy, taking down the patriarchy. You got to take it down from the inside out.
How
So what we might have to do is join a cult.
Or find the weakest link and kick it over.
That's true too. There's always a weak link. There's
Or
always.
I
cut
was
off the head
expecting,
of the
you know,
snake kind of
double
deal.
drama and
That sounds
down the
badass. I
hall
don't mind
versus
that either.
overturned. And apparently, you always want to join the cult that you just
I
announced.
Mm.
I am highly against joining a cult, but I mean, let's figure out what's going on. Here's the
You already
question,
worked for me,
Donnie.
so it's not like anything would be different.
How well are you going to be received in this town?
Yeah, let's start
Yeah.
with that.
Are they going to be happy to see you, or are we going to have a mob on our hands?
Are you like
Pitchforks and all,
persona non grata?
since we're walking through this farmland stuff.
We're walking and talking.
People like me.
Do they?
You don't sound too sure, Donovan.
I mean,
You mean like how we like you?
You know what we could do?
no, you
That's a
don't
good
like it.
point.
I saw in like this movie where in order to get in and like infiltrate or whatever, they took like the insider from the thing and they brought him the person that the group didn't like. So if the cult doesn't like Donovan, we bring Donovan to them
Oh, like an offering.
tied up, yes, as an offering, like
As a prisoner,
exactly,
you know, maybe he's wanted.
yes, and then that way they think that we're the good guys because we're bringing them the prisoner, right?
There you go, Donny Osmond. It looks like if you're not liked, you're at least wanted.
So he could be useful.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that. I like
See
that as a plan B.
There's
I am not against that.
Mm.
See, I'm just concerned that, you know, they'll, because we don't know how much they like or dislike you. And if they really dislike you, well, I mean, we could never see you again and then we'd be stuck here. I don't like that.
That's the difficulty. I'm just looking out for your best interest.
I mean, we did get out of the back rooms.
Somehow I
We could
highly
possibly-
doubt that, though.
We did.
I think-
we did
I
get
think
out
that-
of.
I don't want you to get stuck in here.
Well, here's the thing. I think that if worse comes to worse, we can always rely on you to have your own self-interest at heart. We're just honestly at this point secondary because you need us to
Wow.
fulfill your own self-interest.
Wound me.
Mm,
I mean, I'm not wrong. Am I? I might be. You might be wounded, but I'm not wrong.
Can. No, you're not. I mean, all of you.
At
have your
last,
own
honesty.
self-interest. Everybody has their own self-interests.
That is probably the most honest thing that you've ever told us.
How we stay alive. How I got out of the back rooms in the first place.
So, is this a bad time? Since we're kind of like anti-cult here, is this a bad time to kind of mention that in the third grade, I kind of might have had a sort of small following because I summoned rats and I threatened the PTA that if their kids didn't bring me gumballs, I would replace their children.
Wow.
My goodness.
This is some deep lore.
Where's the
that-
judgment now, ladies?
Still on you. You
No.
brought us here.
Wait.
Alette didn't.
How old?
She at least didn't trick us to sign a contract.
I didn't trick you either. You simply signed an employment contract.
Yeah, you know.
But you
True
tricked us
story.
into
Two sides
signing
of the
it in the
same
first
coin.
place. You traded
You
gumballs for
wanted a
children?
job.
I mean, that's not a
This is
bad
true.
idea. If when you're,
I mean,
you kind of need the sweet things when you're a childling.
Oh,
mhm.
The candy.
fascinating
you
how
just,
morality takes a sideways glance.
Couldn't you just buy a bag of gumballs?
I mean, it's still
I mean,
terrible.
it's their kids and
Mhm.
kids' money. It seemed like a fair trade at the time.
It was a hustle. I'm so proud of you, Alette.
Well
At
done.
least it's not a cult.
Wasn't it though?
No, the rats was the cult part.
She had a racket going.
Got that pun up by a whisker.
You squeaked that in there, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. A little bit cheesy.
Yeah, it kind of that plan kind of went sour when the PTA decided to use some of the school funds for an exterminator. So
Oh,
yeah.
Did you get the rats out in time?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Poor rats.
Or Radigan.
And Ratatouille.
Did you name them?
Radagast? Wait, no, wrong
No.
thing.
Wait, how do I know that?
Sacrificed your following.
Oh, rats. Anyways,
Eh,
Sacrifice it. Hey,
So
It worked.
anyway, back to
On that
tying
note,
Mr.
yeah.
Donovan up
Hmm.
and like putting
Yes.
a gag in his mouth.
Come back
so
to
that
my
he looks
crimes.
like he's
Hmm.
a prisoner and stuff like that. I don't know. I still think that might be a good idea.
Not a bad plan, honestly.
I'm down to tying somebody up.
All right.
Does Lily still have rope? I don't remember if I picked any up in the other place, the back rooms.
No, you do not have rope in your bag.
Okay. Well, I mean, all this talk of tying him up. Tying him up with what? I don't have anything.
Storyteller, are we still going through the fields that have like the wheat and barley and things like that?
You're between the grains or one of the grains, looks like wheat, and the corn.
And how, like, it's not at the point where it's drying yet, right? Like it's still
No,
growing
it's not.
and
It looks like
flexible?
it's looking like it's going to be about another couple of weeks, 2 to 4 weeks before it's harvestable, which is probably why you're not seeing anyone out in the fields right now.
So
I meant to ask because you said the sky is gray. Are the crops gray?
No.
Oh, okay.
look, I
No.
know we said we shouldn't steal any food, but if we take a few stalks of this, we might be able to make some rope out of it, or at least something that we can tie him up with.
I
It's
can also
still
do
young.
with enough of a bunk, I could probably, but I don't know.
No, don't risk it.
Are there any
Yeah,
barns around?
I'm pretty low on glamour.
Actually, yeah, if there's any barns that might have, yeah, they might have rope there too.
We did walk out of the
Well,
barn, but that's ways
yeah,
back.
it's a ways back. But as you're heading towards what looks like the suburb, you can see at the end of every laneway, there's another building or set of buildings: barns, silos, granaries, corn cribs. So yes, there is. As you're getting closer, you can start to see more definition of what's going on, and you can see, a barn structure at the end of your road. Yeah, probably another kilometer or two on. You're well past the halfway mark now, and then past it, looks like suburbia, bungalow style, kind of a 1950s or 60s suburbia look. Little lawns, the occasional pink flamingo, bits of flowers, nice drapes from what you could see in the windows at that distance.
Oh, great, we've stepped into
And the dirt
WandaVision.
road becomes a paved
the happy
road,
days.
a paved road that continues on into the suburb.
How's the
Okay.
activity looking there? Like, what's the vibe? Does it feel like there's people there, or does it feel abandoned? Like, what's it look like?
Yeah, have we seen any people?
You have not seen any people yet.
Spook.
Spooky.
Are we at the suburbia? So we're walking onto the.
No, not yet. Not yet.
But,
You're
yeah.
kind of coming up on this barn.
Well, if we duck into the barn, we can probably get some rope
Yep,
Hmm.
probably. We could check at
for
least.
our tie-up Donnie plan.
You do that. I'm going to keep walking.
I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
I'll stick close to Donnie.
I'm not fast. I wouldn't be able to keep up if I
I am.
fell behind.
I'm not running.
Also,
I
son
meant-
of a bitch as well, so I can keep up with him if I can try.
I meant like if I were to run to the barn and you all kept going, I wouldn't be able to catch up. I'd probably fall
Yeah.
behind.
Oh,
What
then why
would
don't
we
I just go
be-
get it?
What would we be rolling for speed again, ST?
Sorry, what was the question?
Like if we wanted to run faster, I mean, would it be would you consider it to be stamina and athletics or strength and athletics?
It would be, so stamina is lasting, like going up stairs and downstairs. It would be strength plus athletics for running, for speed.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't risk that on me because I only have 3
I'll do it.
dice pool altogether, so that would probably be. So we've got Rose, Lee. Anybody else want to check for a rope?
You know what? Wait, sorry.
Sorry, ST, what was the tools for that again? Sorry.
Strength plus athletics.
Perfect. Yeah. I'm ready to roll it if we'd like to do that. Okay, guess I'm rolling it. So I'm gonna head to the barn and find some rope so I can hustle on back.
Yeah, might as well come with you. Why not? Let's go look for rope.
Oh boy, now he's going that way.
Oh, we should.
So I
just
guess
He's
we're
go.
coming
all
with me.
going to the barn
I
now.
Oh, he's
guess we're
coming
all
with
going.
me? Okay. Maybe he's got a crush. Who knows? Like strong, confident women with purple hair. Who knows?
That's what it is.
Exactly. Okay.
It's also a good time to eat your sandwiches because it's feeling getting close to late afternoon kind of vibes.
Well,
Go up into the rafters though. I'm gonna watch outside.
Quick question, storyteller. Did our the times on our clock sync up, or are they all different still?
They are all different still.
Okay.
Actually, hang on. I just judged that. Let me make a roll.
What's the time? It's 8:45.
Well, damn. Yeah. With a roll like that, smart thinking. You would look at your phones and all the clocks are synced up.
What time is it?
It currently says 4:50 p.m.
Yeah,
I go-
450.
I'm gonna go to my settings real quick. Which
Mhm.
time zone is picking up here? Eastern Standard Time?
Eastern Standard. Yep. The exact same as being in
great.
Toronto.
GMT.
We're in the middle of the ocean. I'm gonna go up into the rafters and watch out like a second floor window.
Interesting. Our clock's synced up again, so we're on the same time. I guess that
We have no signal.
we don't have a signal, but we're all the same
Yeah.
time.
So how are we syncing?
That's a good point.
Well, I mean, considering we're all female.
Oh,
No, bad joke. Okay, I'll stop.
It works.
no. It
but
was
no
a good. It
cell
was a good.
phones.
I mean,
Eh,
that explains most of it.
It explains nothing.
We're the Bluebirds.
Say
We're a
anyhow.
group. We're a motley hive mind.
it's a weird place and weird stuff has been happening. That's going to be my answer because that's the only answer I want to actually entertain at this point.
Good point.
Lee, did you, while everyone's checking their phones specifically, did you check your phone time as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you check the settings, much like Penn did?
I did not check the settings yet. I checked the settings.
Give me a perception plus alertness roll, if you would be so kind. Difficulties of 7 and up.
Is that just Lee?
Just
or-
Lee.
Okay.
Okay. What was the difficulty again?
7s and up.
I got 1-7.
That's enough.
Uh-oh. Everybody's watching the reaction now. Watching the face draw.
Pen,
Yeah,
what time zone did you say you were in?
Eastern Standard Time.
Is that the same for everyone else?
Lily goes to check.
Lara
Phone settings.
checks as well.
Yep.
Rolling the same thing.
No need to roll. You check the settings and you are Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
No, my phone
I have-
says
Lovely.
I have Pacific.
Pacific.
Oh no.
I have Eastern.
So you're
Am I the only one out though?
wait.
Your
Well, it says
clock,
Pacific.
Your clock still says 4:50.
But it still says 450.
but it's Pacific
Yep.
So you're 3 hours
behind
ahead of
us.
us.
Mm,
Like the universe is just trying to tell me.
What's it like in the future?
No, I'm behind you guys.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
I'm
What's it
gonna
like in the
hold up
past? I don't know. Nice behind though.
no, that'd be a hit.
your head. I'm gonna
No.
hold up a couple of fingers. How many fingers am I going to hold up?
Right?
What?
Just go with your first instinct. How many fingers am I about to hold up?
2.
It was 3.
Oh,
Ah.
okay.
Don't think that's how that works. I'm
While
here with
you're
you guys
fine.
right now.
you are.
What happens if you change your setting to Eastern?
And she does so.
Okay. You change it. The time does not change. It remains at 4:50. Well, 4:53 now.
Settled. Done.
Okay.
Oh, so time doesn't matter. Great. Okay.
Fixed.
Okay.
We hungry?
Yeah.
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 Sit in the
Hungry.
barn, have some food,
Mm.
Yes.
and look for a rope.
I'm gonna go with Lara's thing and just like weirder things have happened in this place. And you know what? I'm gonna entertain that idea.
Is this like a hay barn or like a loft for animals, or
what
what
kind
kind
of
of barn
barn
we
is it?
talking about here?
What's
What
in
kind
here?
of barn we
It's-
talking about?
It's a fairly sizable barn. There are bales of hay up top, not very many, and they look to be what's left of last season's.
Hay loft, yeah.
You know, so it's older hay. It's got that kind of musty, dry smell throughout. On
Older
the
hay
main
smell.
level, there is a plow, and there are a couple of large wheeled machines that would be used in the fields with the crops. There is no tractor. There are instead harnesses up along the wall.
For horses. Like the
For
hay.
oxen.
Hay is for horses.
You know, there's a couple of
Hmm.
shovels. There's a hoe or two. There are some hand implements. In one corner, there's a kind of a rough-hewn table. It's got a couple of mallets on it, a saw, a couple of oil tins, some bits and pieces of tools that you would use when working around the farm.
Knowing
You
that there's horses and there's things to set up horses, are there any lead ropes?
Yes, there are ropes.
Perfect. All right, got the ropes.
Hmm.
Good.
Nice.
Well, that's one thing.
Well, if there are horses around here, maybe we can catch a ride into town or suburb or wherever it is.
But
Guys,
the houses look like there ought to be cars.
What's up,
gang,
Donnie?
Yeah.
Yes.
something outside.
What kind of
Mm,
something?
Was it?
Animal, mineral, or vegetable?
Start telling us something. People,
People?
move away from the window.
Oh. Okay.
People,
Where-
people, or
Could just get out of their way and just hide.
Yeah, let's move away from the front. Yes, let's move.
A ways
Hide,
away.
but also attempt
You're
to
out there.
look.
Okay, so you want to kind of not look, but kind of look.
Hiding, but peeking.
Hiding, but peeking. Okay. Okay, this will be a fun one. Why not? Let's roll
Oh
Stealth.
no.
perception plus stealth.
Perception plus stealth.
Perception plus stealth.
Oh, I'm good at that.
What are we on?
Um,
Aliens?
Oof.
6s and up.
Come back here.
Three successes.
3.
Does insightful apply or no?
No.
Okay. Then 4 successes.
As well.
Okay. So,
Big O.
So Lee is not quite able to find a spot that she can
brash.
easily see through. We will default to the fact that stealth takes precedence. So, you're trying to be sneaky as heck. So you can you find a little crack between boards so you can kind of see the street out there, but you can't see anything that's going on.
And then she steps on a water bucket.
The rest of you find knot holes, corners of windows, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And where the barn is placed is right down, there's a street with the houses along both sides, the bungalows. The street seems to go on for a fair bit, and then it looks like it's built up down that way. Kilometer or two, maybe. It's a longish block, but and it looks like it might actually be more than one block. You can't quite tell. But again, all the houses are fairly well back, nice lawns. And on both sides of the street, there is a line of people walking towards the bar, towards where you guys are, towards the end of the street. They appear to be possibly all male. They are all in suits of various colors. Most of them are browns, grays, or blues. Nothing really colorful. Everything is very muted. From what you can see, at least from the front ones, they're all wearing ties. They all seem to be wearing fedoras, Homburgs, or other brimmed caps. They all seem to be carrying a briefcase of some sort. Again, black or brown. There's conformity in what's going on, but not exact. They're not clones. They're not identical. Everybody has a briefcase, but the briefcases do seem to be individual. Everybody has a hat, but not all the hats are the same. What is the same is all of them are wearing a white face mask. That's just a round white mask that has 2 black holes and a smile.
Motley, do you
I told
see?
you.
I see.
Not really.
This is cult activity. This is cult shit.
Little boxes made of ticky-tacky. Little boxes.
Masks weren't my idea.
On a scale of like we happy few and eyes wide shut, like where are we at this on the scale?
Haven't seen
Did
either,
I
but this is
switch out?
creepy.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Bad.
Is it
Really creepy.
too late to point out that in horror movies, bad stuff always happens in barns?
Always.
Great,
Thanks,
great,
Donnie.
great.
They're
You're such a
walking
ray of
at a
sunshine.
but
What do we do
fairly-
now?
If they
They're
don't
walking at a
notice
fairly
us,
decent pace.
Are
When
they
the
walking with
two-
purpose towards us?
Are they coming to the
They're,
barn?
yeah, they're walking up the street with purpose. When the front two get to the walkways to the 2 houses, you'll see the ones back of them are at the walkways of the houses next, and the ones back of them. They all turn, and there is some waving, and you can kind of hear, you don't know, they're calling to each other maybe. There's people saying something, and they all walk up to their doors, and it's almost a choreographed simultaneity that the doors are open,
Oh,
they
it's
all step in, and
4
the doors
o'clock.
close.
What was I thinking? It's the end of the workday.
This is some Stepford shit.
Twilight Zone.
Ugh. This is terrible. Why did you even think this would be a good idea?
Want to go say hi to him?
No.
Gosh,
No.
no.
Yes.
No. Mm-mm.
Well, he can.
Oh, by all means.
Donovan's in league with them anyway.
Mm,
Okay, so if everybody goes home at the end of the workday, they stay in until the morning? Or what? What's the sitch here?
well, so wait. They just went home. Where are there? That was just men though. Where's the rest of them? Were they
Well,
already at home?
3 guesses where the women are, and we're not gonna like it.
Gross.
Yep.
I'm down to the first floor.
I'm
Well,
So
I'm not sleeping in a barn.
okay.
Well,
if we
where
take
then?
the main road though,
those places all have something resembling people in them.
If we walk down the main road though, won't they notice us from like the front windows of their houses or something?
We'll be fine.
Why do I not believe you?
So I'm assuming
Because
that
you're paranoid.
those are the people that you persuaded to join your cult.
I did no persuading. There is a fervent belief that is built up over time, and that is the development of glamour. We simply allowed the belief to happen.
But it's
I mean-
so boring.
Wait, so is this like
You-
a glamour production facility?
What? No.
That's disgusting. That's
You have
disturbing.
got
You
to
are
be
a horrible
absolutely
person.
kidding me.
What?
I need 5 showers like right now.
That is so
We're definitely
gross.
going to sacrifice you.
Oh, oh.
And where's that rope?
Maybe.
Okay, so you
It's not like we're taking advantage of or being cruel.
And
to
you
anyone.
wonder why the Baroness wanted something with you?
Yeah, the Baroness just knows.
For
We're
good
not-
reason.
No harm coming to anyone here.
Physically, mentally, it's another
When
story.
you go to Disneyland, you go because you believe in the mouse.
Yeah, but you can leave Disneyland.
They can leave. No one wants to.
No, this is like the Hotel California, not Disneyland.
you can check out anytime you like, but you can
You
never leave.
Yes.
Hmm.
People can leave.
Well, if it takes somebody like you to lead them out, like the way that we need you to
Yeah,
lead
come on,
us
let me-
out, then how do you
come on.
expect them to
Seriously,
leave?
come on. Come with me. And I walk out. Start working towards
Now
that.
where's he going?
I'll
Follows.
go and mansplain us more about some stuff. Sorry, faceplain some stuff more.
Ah,
Faceplate.
wow.
Mm.
Well,
So
I
that
mean,
Then again, I
explains-
don't know anything about the Fae anyway, so
that's what I was
mansplain
gonna
to me
say. I
dead.
mean, what is it? Face planning if you sincerely just have no idea.
Yeah, the other thing I don't have any idea is what's going on in your mind right now.
That explains
Why?
the glamours.
I
Okay, so what's
There's
But
something
it
outside?
doesn't
really wrong
explain
with
the
him.
glamour sink. That's the problem.
No, that does not explain the glamour sink.
In fact, that's why we're here, is because the glamour was failing. Everything was working fine.
Well, now wait,
Unless one of your
because
friends
when we'd
got
been
greedy in there.
when we'd been on the other side of the wall, there was
Mayor.
some glamour because we could, see each other the way we are really. But
You can see our
in-
voils, yeah.
yeah, but here it's well, not that at all.
Exactly. Something has gone wrong. And it's Mayor's fault.
Hey, Laura, remember that thing where you said that the fields were so perfect that if you tilled them one by one, you would never, like, you leave one of them fallow and then you move on to the next and it would be perfectly sustainable?
yeah. It's kind of weird. Like, I mean, I'm taking notes in here because that, if we actually had people stick to that in our farmlands, that would be perfect.
Yeah, but what if that's not happening with the people here?
That okay. That would be
If this
interesting.
is not just a farm, but a farm for glamour as well to keep the people around.
Hmm.
But didn't
people
you
don't feed
tell-
on glamour. People feed on
No, but Fae
Farm.
do.
But you
stuff.
told me I think you and everybody else at the hospital and stuff like that said that when I was learning about this, that the glamour that humans have to give, we're human, but that non-Fae have to give us is because they're inspired or because they're happy or whatever. They're not happy here. How are they even, like, what is even going on here? How can they be happy with this? It's
The
so
chances are good that they're
boring.
not.
So boring.
It's so structured. It's
Well,
if you're
that's very
trying
close-minded of you.
if you're trying to
You're the one
I
that said
hate
that it's
this.
broken. So if it's
Well,
broken,
it's
it's
broken
broken.
because the glamour is out of sync. It's a net drain as opposed to the flourish that it was when I left. And it's Mayor's fault. I'm not sure how.
Okay,
But
so
could not someone who has been a farmer for generations take great pride and satisfaction out of a perfectly tilled field?
There's nothing
I
wrong
don't
with
even
a
understand
perfectly
what
tilled
metaphor you're
field,
going with.
but that, what was out there, no individuality, no creativity, no. It seems so
expression.
boring. No expression. Just
A
What's with the
smiling
masks?
mask.
Yes. What's with the eyes wide shut thing going on here? Or even We Happy Few?
It's the second time you've referenced that movie.
I may have seen it sometime. I don't remember. Don't put
Anyways,
too much emphasis on it.
we're gonna move towards this town. Is that what we're doing now? We're walking and talking.
yeah.
I think we're walking and talking. Yeah.
Oh God, I hate all of this.
Is anything happening on the sides of us while we are walking and talking? Like, is there any movement in the houses?
I'm just here for all five of the motley just squirming.
Well, first of all, like these kinds of houses, they have very nice, large.
Those are like 1950s, 60s brick
Yeah,
bungalows.
1950s, 1960s bungalows, big windows, drapes pulled back. You can't see the sun, so you're not sure about it going down, but it has kind of gotten a little dimmer. So this is where you're starting to feel like, okay, there might be some kind of a cycle going on here. There are streetlights there, not currently lit. You can see some movement past the windows on both sides. People just apparently going about their days.
You know what I haven't had in a long time? Jello salad.
Ugh, aspic.
In the, because you're talking about the people inside going about their days, is there any of the too much similarity in going about their days?
You can't quite tell. I mean, they are set back fairly decently. You do not see identical motions in the windows.
Okay.
So we walk onto the pavement now. We're now on the pavement road.
Yep. You're now on the sidewalk across from the barn. The rural area is now behind you, and you're now in the start of suburbia. And walking across the street, you can see that the houses go left and right. So you've got houses that are facing the rural area, and then you've got the down, and it looks like there might be a crossroad down there. So it looks like you've got several very large blocks before you get to what looks like a more built up area. There is a skyline of some sort. These are all bungalows, but in the distance, probably a couple of kilometers, you're looking at buildings that are 3, 4, 5 stories tall.
Ooh. Urbia. As opposed to suburbs.
So
Hey, no port in a storm. Hey, Motley.
should we aim for
straight towards the house.
the taller buildings?
What?
Okay,
Wait,
hold
wait,
on. Donovan.
Where are you going?
Okay, walk up to the front door.
Forget tying this guy up. We gotta put a leash
Ring
on
the
him.
doorbell.
Okay, so Donovan rings the doorbell.
Is there any convenient shrubberies to hide behind?
I'm just gonna walk up to
there
Donovan.
are a
Might as
few,
in for a
nothing
penny,
really
in for a
big.
pound.
Yeah,
Nothing really
same.
big. The door opens, and there's a gentleman standing there. He's wearing a shirt, tie. He has suspenders and his slacks. And he smiles at Donovan and says, "Yes, friend.
Friend, how are you?
I am doing wonderful today. And yourself?"
I am doing splendid.
That is good to hear. It is a wonderful evening
It
after a
is.
productive day.
It was. How long have you lived here, friend?
All my life.
Exactly. You are happy?
Oh, yes, we are always happy.
Excellent. I am happy too. Do you remember me?
No, I'm afraid I do not. It just slips my mind entirely.
He's
I
the
was
leader
afraid
of your
that.
cult.
I've been gone a long time.
Question, like, because I'm standing sort of next to Donovan talking
Mhm.
to this fellow. Do I like sense the presence of any like magic that might be convincing this person of? Do I sense like any sort of glamour surrounding this person?
Give me a perception and gray mare if you'd be so kind.
Heck yeah. Does insightful apply?
Yes, it does indeed. Oh, and
Nice.
he's not wearing the mask, just so you know. He's a very average looking, kind of sandy brown hair.
Oh, how many's and up?
You're gonna want to do 8s and up.
8s and up. Okay.
Yes, please.
That is going to be 5 successes.
Nice. No,
Rolled a couple 10s.
no, you do. As a matter of fact, you do not even feel the normal enchantment that would be required to make a human comfortable in the dreaming.
So I don't sense any glamour coming off of him that would suggest enchantment. Do I sense any banality?
As best you can. Oh, yes.
Ooh. Ooh.
Mm,
Ooh.
So he takes a moment now. Now, Penn is beside Donovan. Where are the rest of you?
I'm on the other side of Donovan.
Okay.
Kind of behind one
Yeah,
or two. I'm not sure which
So
two.
kind of a straggled
Couple of
group
steps.
around Donovan.
Yeah.
Okay. So he looks at Donovan and says, would you and your friends like to come inside for a cocktail, perhaps?
That would be lovely. Thank you.
And he steps back and please come in.
Friends?
Oh boy.
He's
gonna get us killed.
And as you step into the room, so a couple things are going to happen. He closes the door and he turns to Donovan and he says, Robert, just to remind you, and holds his hand out.
Oh, well, thank you, Robert. Thank you for the reminder. Donovan.
And as he's shaking your hand, a woman who looks to be about mid to late 30s comes out of the obvious kitchen area. Now, this is what's called a backsplit. Really popular back in the 50s and 60s because I lived in one. I'm not saying when. So you walk in and there's your living room and your dining room off to one side, and past the living room is the kitchen. Then you got stairs up and down. So it's kind of a bungalow in front of a 2-story. So up would obviously be the bedrooms, private rooms, den, stuff like that. Down would be living room, family room, rec room, what have you. And then, potentially a basement below that. So the front room, living room is kind of the guest living room. It looks like it was pulled right out of Leave It to Beaver.
I
It
can
is
smell the polyester.
Oh, yes, you can indeed.
This episode was filmed in front of a live
the-
studio audience.
The couches even have plastic on them.
Nice.
The young lady who steps out is wearing a gingham dress that drops to her knees, shortish sleeves. They kind of go down just about to the elbows. She's got her hair very, very nicely done in curls and is wearing pearls around her neck and is in low heels.
Dang.
And she comes out and says, oh dear, we have guests. Will they be staying for dinner? Should I put on more pot roast? And he turns and says, Nancy, my lovely, please come and meet these friends of ours. You'll also see beside the door, there is no closet to put coats in, but there is a set of hooks. Actually, there's a couple of sets of hooks with a shelf above. On the shelf are a couple of hats. The bottom set of hooks are several coats. It looks like you've got definitely the trench coat he was wearing, a very, very nice dark red coat with a fur trim that looks to be in her size, and then 2 kid-sized jackets, boots and shoes along the floor, and 2 masks. One hung above his coat and one hung above hers.
Well, that's good. See, dual income family.
So, Robert, what do you do for work?
Oh, I work in the factory.
Oh, what's your job there?
I work in furniture.
Okay.
I do design,
Oh, you
though I've
design the
always had my
furniture.
heart set on construction. My father did design, so I did design. And Robert Jr., when he comes of age and graduates, will take my place and he will do design. And
Where is Robert
we'll
Jr.
be
right
so
now?
proud of him.
That little scamp, where is he right now?
And his wife says, "Oh, Robert Jr. is upstairs doing his homework."
Good
A
luck.
good boy.
He and Anna will both be doing their homework until they are ready for dinner.
And do you work as well, Nancy?
Oh, no, I would never work.
I see. Double income family,
job,
huh?
my loving job is to take care of this family and make sure that they are raised right, that
Exactly.
they are fed and educated.
Motherhood is a full-time job.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
doesn't
is.
pay at all.
However,
Anyways,
Nancy, Robert, it seems that we don't have the same kind of masks that you do. We don't have those. Where would we get those masks?
Oh, everybody is given their happy faces on graduation. You didn't receive a happy face on graduation?
No.
Losing it is just one of the most disturbing things.
I think it may have been a wild animal got it and took it.
I
from
forgot.
me. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they sometimes, they'll run off with it and scamper off, and I think that's what happened to mine.
and he and Nancy kind of look at each other and he says, would you excuse me for a moment? Oh, before I go, do make yourself at home, sit. And the cocktails, and he points at a little rolling cart over on the side that's got 3 or 4 bottles of alcohol on them. Lower shelves have got glasses. And he's like, please help yourself. I need to help.
Pickles and little tiny.
I need to help my wife with a little, pre-dinner snack, so that I'm sure after you're traveling that you're very hungry.
I'd like to make a sort of insight check on him. Is he actually planning on leaving, or is he planning on alerting somebody to our presence?
Walk out the door.
You're not going to be able to get anything that exact, but you can make a roll and I will tell you what kind of feeling you're going to get.
Okay, sounds good. Perception, insightful plus empathy.
Yes, please. And
Can any of the rest
Tell
of us
me-
make that roll?
yep,
Perception and what?
perception and empathy.
I was
difficulty,
gonna
sorry,
wait for them to leave the room and eavesdrop.
Difficulty is
but
going to be about 8 up.
Okay.
8s, 9s, and 10s.
yeah, I was gonna wait to eavesdrop on them.
So
Six
noted. Thank you.
successes.
No, nothing.
Sorry, Pen.
6
6.
successes. I rolled 10, 3 9s, and an 8.
Damn.
I also I have 4 successes. I have 2 9s, an 8, and a 10.
Nice.
Oh.
Anyone else rolling?
I rolled. I got nothing.
Okay, the ones with 2, they're suddenly nervous.
Yeah.
Lara, you've got a feeling that there's something about you folk that has made them very nervous, and it's got to do with the happy faces, the masks. You definitely don't get an idea that they're going to be calling anyone or running out the back door, but you know that it shook them. And Pan, with just that little extra, you can pretty much tell that they're probably going to be in the kitchen for about 10 minutes talking furiously to figure out what's going to go on, and then they'll be coming back with a plan. And you can almost guarantee they'll be coming back with their happy faces back in place, even if they're hanging by the door.
I think we might have worn out our welcome.
I think we
So
should leave.
so the two of them go into the kitchen.
I'm
I'm gonna
just
go
gonna.
right by the door and eavesdrop.
Okay, Lee, you're going to need eavesdropping. That's going to
put
be
up
an
the front door.
alertness. An alertness plus perception. Yeah.
Anyone
Alertness
willing
plus
to help me with
perception.
this would be great.
And alertness plus perception, and you're only going to need to get 6s and up.
Cool, 2 successes.
That's enough. So you can, no one else can hear this, but you can hear them talk, and you can hear Robert say, "Oh, they're outsiders." And Nancy goes, "There haven't been outsiders here in forever." He goes, "They're from outside the wall. What do we do?" And she goes, "Well, we can't let the marshals know." He goes, "Okay, we need to keep them here overnight. If they go out on the street, that would be bad." "Yes, but how do we keep them here overnight? I mean, they might just be stopping by." "Well, we offer them a place to sleep. Of course, if they're outsiders, they have no place to sleep. And a good breakfast in the morning." And Nancy goes, "Yes, food and rest, always important."
Guys, I think we're
And then there's a bit of moving stuff around, and you can hear dishes moving.
I
a
move
light
away
clatter.
from the door and just motion for everyone to huddle in and relay everyone. I think we're okay. They want to make sure that we're safe. They're not going to alert anybody. In fact, they're probably going to give us a place to stay and also breakfast in the morning.
How do you know they're not going to alert anybody?
I listened to them.
No, but did they say they're not going to?
They said something about not alerting the marshals.
Marshals?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. So I'm thinking they're not going to alert
Donovan, what are
somebody.
marshals?
Donovan, what are marshals? Donovan, what are marshals?
Aren't they like the patrol?
Hey,
I know.
Donnie, quick question for you. You said that this place was supposed to be like wholesome and pastoral. Do you happen to remember any 50s style bungalows or suburbia last time you were here? Or do you think this place has advanced since then?
I mean, yeah, it was great. As I said,
I mean,
it's been a while since I had some
so technology-wise,
Yellow
last
salad.
time you were here, what was it? Say?
I mean, it was like this. This is how it was built.
So it was built 50 style bungalows?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Hmm.
Just wondering.
It's idyllic. It's leave it to Cleaver. My 3
Idyllic or
parents.
boring or whatever you
What I
want to call it.
What I did decipher is that we can trust Nancy and Robert for the time being, but I don't think we should wear out our welcome for too long. We should definitely take up the space for the night. They seem concerned about that.
Well, I trust you, Lee. I trust that you know what you're saying and you know what you're doing. But what I want to know, when we get some time to talk, I want Mr. Donovan to start remembering things because this is starting to get really, really scary. Marshals possibly, coming for us, things like that. Yeah, this is not. It
Marshall's isn't anything I know about. This is a new thing.
Well, then we need to figure out what you want to do and where you want to go and what you need from here, and we need to get out of here. I don't know. I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, more importantly, they know we're outsiders. So I think we can give them the 3rd degree. I mean, ask them a bunch of questions. They know we're from outside the wall, they said.
Won't we scare them, though, if we ask them too many questions?
Well, at least they know there is an outside.
Well, I mean, they were kind of spooked when somebody let loose that we didn't have our happy faces.
Well, no, that was my fault. I know that was my fault. I honestly,
That's not let loose. We don't have any on.
Sorry, Lara. I didn't mean that to be accusatory.
No. It's my fault. I totally I totally take ownership of that. My fault.
They did seem quite taken aback. That's what there was absolutely like a classic, like, we're going into, just fix up, and then they discussed it. It didn't turn out bad. We could just be on the run right now, but we're not. I'm suggesting we let them offer us hospitality as much as they're able to, and when we can and we have a chance, find some way to get out of here. I don't see any problem asking them simple questions about it, considering we're out of town. Just play the part of out-of-towners.
I mean, we could always just try all cards on the table and see where we go. Radical honesty is one way to go.
I mean, I feel like there's like some blind trust here, but I feel like I can trust them.
I don't know that they could put up I mean, just because of how everything is so regimented,
It's very structured.
I don't know that they could invent much, or
He's a designer.
He's a designer.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the
but
thing.
like furniture.
Yeah,
Like-
but he's design. Okay, so if he's designing stuff, then that's where they're getting the glamour. That's why he comes back here and he's boring.
Have you tried these cocktail weenies? They're great.
Yeah, I'll try one.
Yeah.
Lara,
Yeah.
just out of curiosity, you wouldn't happen to have a happy face in your pocket, would you?
That would be an interesting. Wouldn't
Oh,
I
hey,
notice
check it
that
out.
though? Storyteller.
Oh.
What am I
Yeah.
rolling again? I'm rolling my willpower.
Willpower roll.
All right. Give me a second.
Hey, check it. My ears are back.
E.
These mini hot dogs are really good.
Right?
How many success? Or sorry, what's the success on it?
8s and up.
1 success. Nothing.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. You dig in your pockets and you have a handful of change. It looks to be European this time. 3 napkins kind of rolled up and kind of twisted, nothing in them. 2 throat lozenges, a half pack of chiclets, and 2 of those little bamboo umbrellas that you put in drinks.
Do you have any lime chiclets?
Lara just hands over the chiclets to Pen. Help yourself.
Worth a try.
A moment later, there's a bit of a clatter, and then Robert comes back in the room with a plate upon which are crackers with cheese and bits of tomato or pepper on top of them. And he puts it down on the coffee table that's between a couch and a couple of stuffed chairs. He walks over to the sideboard, looks at Donovan and says, "So let me guess, you're a whiskey drinker?"
Got it in one, my friend.
Wonderful. And he pours a couple of fingers of whiskey neat into a wide mouth, a highball glass or a lowball glass, hands it to Donovan and says, "And the rest of you, is there a preference?"
Not for me.
Just some seltzer water for me, please.
Gin and tonic?
I believe we do have some tonic. I can have Nancy get that. Yes.
Coffee?
Well, water's fine.
Or actually,
Yeah.
I could do water. I'm fine with water.
Yeah, water, or if you had any, I don't know, fruit juice of some sort.
Oh, yes, we have orange juice and apple juice. The kids
Okay.
love it.
Yes.
Oh, is that the stuff that the crystals that you pour into the?
Oh, the powdered juice? Yes, of
Mm.
course.
Wonderful.
So he goes back off to the kitchen. It's a couple of minutes, comes out with the
Orange.
various drinks for people, hands them around, takes a small bottle of tonic water, pours a gin and tonic, hands it to Lee. And I'm thinking that's a good place for us to pause as the cocktail party begins. So if everyone wants to go hydrate, pour yourselves a drink. I do recommend the juice.
Paint your sky in phthalo blue and alizarin crimson, swirls of cadmium yellow, sienna and vermilion. Make it any way you want, 'cause it's your world in the end. Paint yourself a little tree and give it a little friend. Pick the colors what you like, held together on your brush. If you don't like it, you can try again, there is no rush. You don't need to justify, you got nothing to defend. Know that there is nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend. You can do what you want, just make it passionate. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Just use your imagination any way you please. This is your creation, so build it as you see. Seek out new sensations, or sail the seven seas. You're the only one to be a happy little tree. We're all happy little trees, always swaying in the breeze. We're all happy little trees. Paint your world in Prussian blue. Give yourself a big bright sky. Add some white and burnt umber, and give your world highlights. You're the creator of this world. Find your freedom on its canvas. Make a small room of your own, or dream up entire planets. You can do what you want, just make it passionate. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Just use your imagination any way you please. This is your creation, so build it as you see. Seek out new sensations, or sail the seven seas. You're the only one to be a happy little tree. We're all happy little trees, always swaying in the breeze. We're all happy little trees. I'm not saying it'll always be simple. I'm not saying it's a life of ease. I'm not saying everybody will love you, or that you won't make enemies. I'm not saying that it's all a party, while we're swaying in the breeze. I'm not saying it'll all be chocolate and cheese, but we're all happy little trees. We're all happy little trees, while we're swaying in the breeze. We're all happy little trees. Paint your sky in phthalo blue, and a alizarin crimson, swirls of cadmium yellow, sienna and vermilion. Make it any way you want, 'cause 'cause it's your world in the end. Paint yourself a little tree and give it a little friend. Pick the colors that you like, held together on your brush. If you don't like it, you can try again, there is no rush. You don't need to justify, you got nothing to defend. Know that there is nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend.
Welcome back, friends. As we continue along on part 2, hopefully you had a good break. You got up and you shaked your tail feathers a little bit and kind of got yourself back into shape, get the blood flowing. It definitely needs to be flowing because the Motley has now adventured into town and is starting to find out what town is possibly all about and what kind of people live here. And I don't think they are the kind of people you would invite home to meet your family. Maybe. We'll see.
Depends on the
They
family.
might be family to start. Okay, so they just kind of settled into the sitting room area where the couches and armchairs are done in a very nice plush white fabric with some kind of pattern on it. You can't quite see because the plastic on top of it is kind of thick. That's why it stays white and stays beautiful. The rug underfoot is a white shag. There's some nice,
Does it got the plastic like little pathways?
yes.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I remember
My,
those.
my,
There's
I,
there's
I had an
there's
aunt
the
who had those.
there's the coffee table. There's the the sideboard where little rolling cart with the alcohol and drinks on it. There are now crackers with stuff on them on the there is a fireplace to one side. It looks like it is operable, but it doesn't look like it has been used in quite some time. And then there is a TV set to one side of that, kind of weirdly not in a space where it's easy to watch, but the TV set is on its own little cart. And think of the 1950s style kind of Atom Punk TV sets, the rounded, brassy looking unit on a strange little stand.
Convex screen.
Yep, big convex screen.
I was almost thinking like those mid-century modern legs.
Big
Yes.
rabbit ears in the back.
Yeah, no, the rabbit ears are on the side.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And there are more dials and buttons than you're used to seeing down the side. You know, instead of an on-off and a couple of color and tint buttons, and then a couple of dials for the channels, there seems to be 4 dials and about a good dozen buttons down the side. And it's also set fairly high up. It's kind of set up so that if you stood up in front of it, you would be kind of face onto the screen for an average person. So you can hear Nancy working in the kitchen, and Robert sits down with his own cup of glass of whiskey and says, "So are you here long, friends?"
Hopefully not. I mean,
Not too long.
not too long.
Now, you're not from one of the other segments, are you? You're from out.
Right to the point. I like that, Robert. Yeah.
Well, in here, we're safe. Out there, we're safe too, but it's a different kind of safe.
One is safe under the watchful eye of
Oh, yes,
town?
Mother Mayor.
Mother Mare is always watching.
Yes, she keeps us safe.
From what?
Well, from
Outside.
Well,
what
remember
can come from out.
the cat or pillars?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ah, just an inside joke.
In
Okay.
this case, outside because it's outside the wall.
Oh, okay.
But not a joke.
Is there anything that we need to fear or watch out for?
Well, there are no monsters here.
Okay.
Everyone is useful. I would recommend if you don't have an outside face to wear, you would, if you don't have your pleasant, you should only go out during the day. There's more tolerance during the day, and just be careful where you go into, day or night. There will be not having your faces there that will cause questions.
Are there any other leaders in town? We heard that there were others like Mother Mare.
No. Oh, well, there's my boss, and then there's his boss, and there are management. There's middle management, and there's upper management, and but you're talking government.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do not work in the government segment, so I imagine
work-
there might be.
you
They
work in
would
the
have
factory
their
segment,
bosses,
correct?
and yes, that is correct. Well, the industry segment. I am the proud 6th generation in industry.
Generation's about 50 years. About 300 years of people working and living here. Oh,
But you're happy, Robert.
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yes. Speaking of, I just remembered a joke. What's blue and smells like red paint?
I do not know. What is blue and smells like red paint?
Blue paint.
Ah,
Oh, that is quite fun. That takes a moment.
Awkward silence.
And then from up the stairs, you can hear the clatter of feet. And Robert stands up, turns towards the stairs, and bouncing down from the stairs come 2 kids. Looks to be about a 10-year-old boy, jeans and a t-shirt with a rocket on it, and an 8-year-old girl in a dress, polka dotted, fairly plain. And as they kind of come to a halt at the bottom of the stairs, Nancy steps out of the kitchen and looks at them and and says, "Anna, you will help me set the dining room table. We have guests tonight." And Anna says, "Okay," and heads into the kitchen with Nancy. Robert says, "Robert Jr., come on over and meet these friends." And the kid comes over and has an obvious look of incredible curiosity on his face. And Robert says, "What were we studying today?" And Robert Jr. looks at him and says, "We were studying the city, the town, and how it all flows together." And Robert says, "That is wonderful. And what was your homework on?" And Robert Jr. says, "The segments."
segments.
oh well then, but then
And-
now would be a perfect time to review your homework.
Robert
us about the
says, "Oh,
segments."
would you like to tell our visitors, our friends, about the segments?"
Yeah,
And
show us what you learned.
Robert Jr. kind of stands up a little straighter and says, "The 5 segments are like the 5 parts of a person that all come together to support the middle. You have the industry segment and the research segment, who are like the legs that support the torso. Then you have the service segment and the retail segment, who are like the arms who do things. And then you have the government segment that is like the head. And all together, these 5 support the center, City Hall, which is where the heart is. And Robert says, that is excellently well done.
Well done.
Did they tell you anything about the individual parts of, or the actual segments themselves? Like, how does the government work, or how does the retail work, or is that something for tomorrow?
Oh no, we get that next year.
Okay.
I'm only grade 5 right now. In grade 6, we start
Oh.
to learn more about that.
Oh, okay. So you're not okay. I understand. All right, not there yet.
Mm.
Soon.
And then in grade 7, we learn about the rule and the breadbasket that feeds us all. And in grade 8, I get to start learning about the industry segment and following my dad into design for furniture.
And when do you graduate?
That would be grade 12.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, design, do you like to draw?
And he kind of looks at his dad, and his dad nods, and he goes, yes, yes, I do.
What do you draw?
Furniture.
Really?
That's what dad designs, and that's what I will design.
Is there
Well,
anything you like even more than drawing?
And he
And
kind of
we'll
looks
pull
at you with a confused look and goes, no.
Pen will pull out a fair sketchbook and flip to a page. And do you want to see some of my drawings?
Oh, yes, please.
I'll pull up some drawings of the children's hospital, of
And
the statues
he
and
comes
the glass.
over and kind of sits kind of down beside you, sort of thing, close enough that he can look. And as you're doing that, there is a weird kind of metallic whirring noise from over by the TV. And Robert Sr. goes, oh, excuse me a moment. And he walks over and he adjusts the TV a little bit so it's pointing less towards the couches. And he turns it on. And the head and shoulders of a slightly older gentleman, looks to be early 40s, appears, dressed again, shirt, tie, suspenders, a very long face, dark hair, kind of curly. And he goes, Robert. Robert goes, ah, Samuel. Yes, sir. And Samuel says, so I do understand your request for tomorrow. And Robert says, yes, yes, yes. It is my daughter's piano recital. I would very much like to go. And Samuel says, I understand, but that would be more Nancy's responsibility. And yeah, if you could just come in and work, that'd be great. And Robert says, well, family is important. And Samuel says, yes, it is. Family is incredibly important, but so is making sure that production gets the paperwork on time. So, we'll see you tomorrow at 8:00 in the morning. You have a great night now. Bye. And then it goes, bloop. And Robert kind of pauses for a moment and then takes a sip of his drink, comes over and sits back down.
So is that your
No one else is
manager,
doing the
your
insight checks
boss?
this guy just made.
Yes, that's Samuel, my boss.
Does Robert look disappointed?
He did for a brief moment. Now he does not.
See, everyone's happy here.
Mhm.
Disagree.
It's a gilded
Lee's
cage.
gonna look
It's
around the
still a
room to see if
cage.
there's any kind of piano anywhere somewhere.
How is the little boy reacting to my drawings?
He finds them fascinating. So, but he's not saying anything. He is staring rapidly. No, you do not see a piano.
Did I hear correctly? Anna, the little one?
Yes, Anna.
Anna, yeah, she has a piano recital.
Yes.
Where does she go for lessons, or does she learn here?
Oh, yes, she does. Downstairs, we have a piano in our family room.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. Yes. And she goes for lessons at the community center. So there's a recital tomorrow at the theater.
Is that what she's going to do when she graduates?
Oh, no, no.
So she doesn't need to study what she is going to do when she graduates then.
When she graduates, she will marry and raise a family of her own.
Oh, okay.
So,
I
but knowing how
understand.
to play piano or paint or there are hobbies and pastimes that enrich one's life.
Of course.
And there is a clattering from the kitchen, and Anna and Nancy start to bring stuff back and forth to the dining room. And after about 5 more minutes of strange, kind of mostly silence, um, Anna steps into the living room and says, "Dinner is ready if everybody would join us." So you head into the dining room. It is a sizable dining room table. It will fit all of you fairly comfortably, considering there are 10 of you total. It is very laid out. There is a china cabinet at one end. At the other end is the window with the drapes closed. And it is laid out with roast beef, corn, broccoli, mashed potatoes, gravy. It is about the right amount of food for 10 people.
Wow, you really put yourself out.
Thank you for preparing this
Thank you
lovely
so much.
meal, Nancy.
And Robert says, "You are very welcome." And Nancy says, "It was no bother at all. We had it." And it means that Robert doesn't get roast beef sandwiches for the next week. Robert says, "Oh, well, I'll make do with bologna. Those are just as good when my wife prepares them."
How did you two meet?
And they start handing out food, passing around things. Everybody starts sitting down. And Nancy looks up and looks across at Robert, says, "We met in school. Like most couples do."
High school?
Yes.
Okay.
Huh.
What was the first thing you noticed about her, Robert? What was the first thing about you noticed about each other? What
And
made you
kind of
fall in love?
Robert stops and thinks for a moment and goes, "Oh, it was definitely the way she dressed." And Nancy just kind of like blushes a little bit and says, "It was just like all the other girls." And Robert said, "Yes, but you always snuck in a little twist of your own. And I admired that very much." And I mean, he said, even on graduation day, after we had received our faces and we were all milling about in a crowd, I could still tell which one you were.
So I see, Nancy, you have a little bit of your own personal style. Is that so?
And yeah, Nancy kind of focuses on her meal for a moment. She goes, "Well, yes, all the women do. Mine just happens to be with clothing a little bit."
So potentially may have been a designer yourself, perhaps?
Oh,
Were
no.
things differently?
No. How would things be different? I mean, Karen next door paints and does beautiful little the landscape painting in our living room that's done by her. But she would never give it up to become a painter. That would just no, that couldn't happen.
Why?
Well, there's so much else to do.
Or
I mean, walk away from the family? That wouldn't be useful.
who says what? You can do both.
Oh, and who has that much time in the day?
No, I've seen people do it.
Oh, yes. Well, People in other places, I am sure, do all sorts of other things. But
Hmm.
here, we have found the way to be the most useful.
But who decides what's useful? I mean,
Robert
think-
kind of looks at me and goes, everybody.
so everyone in town decides.
Yes.
Like there's a
Well, generally, at some point way back when, someone found a way to be most useful doing a thing. And then we just built upon that. Shared those usefulnesses. You know, people talked, told each other how to be useful, and now we have this wonderful town.
Do you hear that, Donovan? Someone told them how to be useful. That's interesting. Don't you think that's interesting,
Back when?
Donovan? Sorry?
Robert, something I'm curious about. These
Yes.
marshals
Mm,
that you cautioned us about, were they around when you were a child?
yes, the marshals have always been around.
And what would they do if they were to catch someone out at night?
And he kind of shares a look with his wife, and Nancy says, that is not a discussion we should have in front of the children.
Oh, I absolutely apologize.
And both kids are kind of perked up and looking very curiously at everybody.
So would it be fair to sort of cushion it in bad things?
And Robert says, again, not a conversation we should be having in front of the children, please.
Bad things.
Understood.
The marshals keep us safe. There are no monsters here.
Understood. Anne, we hear that you have a piano recital tomorrow.
And Anna says, yes, I do.
And do you enjoy playing the piano?
Yes, very much.
What are you playing right now? What songs are you playing? What melodies?
Oh, I'm not sure yet. I think I might play a little Beethoven tomorrow for the recital. I know that they have expectations of what I should play, and they will probably give me my sheet music when I get there. But I have been practicing a fair amount of classical and a few show tunes because Mom likes show tunes.
Ah,
What kind of shows do you like?
Oh, on Sundays during Family Day, once a month, we get to go to the theater.
what was the last show you saw?
Crap, my imagination is just not working today.
I'm like trying to think of something that would be 1950s appropriate, but
Oh, we saw the musical Empire of Angels.
Nice.
I don't either.
No, none of you would.
I was thinking like Oklahoma or something because that's nice and
Anything Richard Rodgers or Oscar Hammerstein. Although this is
Bland.
another world that we're
So-
living in.
So when you say you go to the theater, so there's people that there's men and women who do theater. Who
Yes.
perform for you. And this is their full-time job.
Yes.
Okay.
Which section do they belong to?
That would be, and Robert Jr. goes, that would be service section.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And his dad says, very good. That is correct. They do a service for the community.
Storyteller, how's the food tasting as we have it? Is it
The food tastes good, not amazing,
okay?
but good, and it's all very good.
Like in the comparison to the way it looks, we expect it to taste as good as it probably
Yes.
looks. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
There's
Yep.
nothing particularly weird about it,
No.
just where we're eating it.
Yes.
This is a wonderful, wonderful recipe.
This is delicious.
Where did you get this, Nancy? This recipe? Was it passed down to you, or did you?
Nancy says, I got it from a cookbook. Yes.
Oh, perfect. I'd love to see some of your cookbooks. These recipes sound amazing.
I could show you some. Yes.
Excellent.
And the kids, who of course power through the meals fast, are done very quicker than all the adults are. And the both kids kind of finish, put their cutlery down, and kind of bounce and wiggle in the chairs until Robert Jr. finally looks at his dad and says, "Can we be excused, please? Can we go watch some TV?" And Robert says, "Okay, don't turn it up too loud and don't sit too close. You'll ruin your eyes." And the two kids go, "Yay!" and head off. Nancy gets up and says, "I'm going to go get the coffee or tea. Which would people prefer? I don't know."
Tea, please.
Coffee,
Please.
please.
A cup of tea after dinner sounds good. I thought you were cutting back.
Yeah, really.
I was cutting back. I haven't had coffee for a while. I consider that cutting back.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
Coffee
she
shaming.
she heads into the kitchen, and from the living room you can hear what almost sounds like a 1950s style jingle show opening tune.
I'm gonna sort of tuck into the living room and sit down with the kids and watch the TV.
And
Like,
as you kind of stroll out, Robert's going to go, "Well, we could take our coffee in the living room."
if sure. I
Yeah.
sort of a look.
Okay, so you head into the living room. The TV has been shifted. It seems to be on this kind of gimbal kind of thing, shifted. So behind the couch, the two kids are sitting on the floor looking up and watching the TV. And it's a black and white. There is a background that kind of looks like a city skyline sort of thing. And there is this, let's call him a sunflower dude. His arms and legs are obviously vines and leaves, and he's got the big round face with the petals. So he's obviously meant to be some kind of a vegetative or flowering thing.
Is that a cartoon?
Yep, definitely a cartoon. And he's kind of strutting and bouncing across the screen, and he's saying things like, "Are we all sitting comfortably, children? Aren't you wonderful? You are such productive and useful children. Yes. So what you have to remember is town keeps us safe. There are no monsters in town. The marshals will make sure that you are safe here all the time." And he continues going on in this kind of vein. Same kind of message, just repeated with different words, with this jingle playing in the background. The two kids are watching rapidly.
Just gonna because I'm thinking that Lily might have sat on one of the couches. Who was closest to me? Any takers?
I think Pen's sitting close to Lily.
Okay, I'm just gonna slightly elbow Pen, be like, "You're seeing this, right?"
Yeah, I am. It's propaganda on TV to keep them.
Why do they keep saying there's no monsters here?
I think the monsters run the place. But anyways, that's just me. I'm just like whispering very low.
Yeah.
I think it might be to keep people scared of going outside.
Unless there are monsters.
Well, I mean, there were those caterpillars that we saw. But if you think about it this way, the easiest way to keep someone in a place is to make them scared of out of the place.
Hmm.
Make them feel safe and comfortable and warm.
Monsters.
So Robert gets up and says, I'm just going to help Nancy with the coffee and tea. That's a lot for her to carry, and heads into the kitchen.
Hmm.
So
Gonna do another eavesdrop just in case.
you kind of slide over to the door, and this time you don't really hear anything said. You're just hearing the clatter of obviously getting cups and putting them on a tray, and you're hearing two people working in the kitchen.
Okay. If anyone's looking my direction, it's just
So, Robert and Nancy, what do you think of this show that you are watching?
They're both in the kitchen.
Oh,
Oh.
it was Annie, Anna, and
Oh, no, the
Robert
the
Anna
kids.
Jr.
Yeah, the Anna. That's what I meant. The kids.
and
Oh,
Robert
you're
Jr.
talking to the kids. Okay.
Yes, yes. The
Okay.
littles.
They're both watching raptly, and when you ask, Robert kind of looks over and says, "It's one of our favorites."
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, Marshall Sunshine is just great. He came to our school last year.
oh,
Oh, wow.
do all marshals look like him?
Oh
Or is
no,
this just a cartoon?
no, yes, this is just a cartoon, and even at our school in real life, he looks kind of like this. But no, Marshalls are bigger.
Bigger than what?
You?
Oh,
Ah,
Are they bigger than your mom and your dad?
Yes,
Okay.
they have to be.
They keep you safe from
Okay.
monsters.
that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
are they? See, we haven't seen one before. Are they sort of, human like us? And I am using this sentence loosely.
No, they're not like us.
What do they look like?
Well,
They're
they're
big.
tall, they're big, and they wear
Mhm.
hats and long coats, kind of like Dad, only bigger.
Do they have masks? Do they
Oh
have their
no,
happy faces?
no, Marshals aren't happy. Marshals have a job. Only Marshall Sunshine is happy, and that's because all the other marshals are doing their job.
But I guess what I meant, because you said they're bigger than us or than your mom and dad. So, I mean, we've got flesh and blood and bone going on. Are they that also, or something else?
Oh no, marshals are of nature.
So, like wood?
Yes, kind of, sort of.
Uh, or trees, do you mean?
Maybe.
Hey, Robert, would you be able to draw one in my sketchbook?
No,
No? Why not?
I draw furniture.
Haven't you ever thought of drawing something else?
Have you tried?
No.
What would you draw if you wanted to, if you could draw anything that's not furniture, what would you draw?
Why would I do that?
Well, why wouldn't you do that?
Well, because drawing is fun.
Drawing's supposed to be fun.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Yeah,
then
but part of the fun of it is that you can draw anything.
anything.
So anything
no-
I want?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I want to draw furniture.
Well, if that's what you
Ah,
want to draw.
guess.
Can you draw us the marshal sitting in a chair?
Yes, can you design a chair that the marshal would want to sit in and show us how the marshal would sit in it?
Or maybe design a
I
piece
could
of
draw the
furniture that
chair.
looks like them.
Well, Marshall's not a piece of furniture,
Well, if they looked like one.
but at this point, John and Nancy both come out carrying,
Robert.
or sorry, Robert and Nancy both come out carrying mugs and stuff to catch the end of the conversation, and they both kind of immediately stop 2 steps into the room, and Robert kind of takes a look at you and says, "Kids, TV's done for the night." And they both go, "Oh, it's early." "No, TV's done. Up to your rooms right now." And both kids get up and they kind of slobber their way up the stairs, and the adults just stand there for a moment, and then quietly Robert sets the cups down, walks over, sets the cups down on the coffee table and says, "I understand things are done differently outside. Do not upset my children."
Wasn't the
"Do
intent.
not upset my children."
Understood. Very
Unclear.
sorry.
Very sorry indeed.
"Thank you. Now, who wanted coffee and who wanted, you wanted coffee?
Yes.
And then everyone else wanted tea? Or did someone else want coffee as well?"
Tea.
Tea.
"Wonderful." And Nancy puts the down at the other end, and they start handing out coffee and tea. And he sits down and says, "Unfortunately, and I've heard that in other places there are buildings where you can visit and stay. We don't really have that here, and I am
Hotels.
loath to tell you to go out and down to the barn, because going out after sunset is never a good idea. Going out at night belongs to the marshals and the monsters, but the marshals handle the monsters. So we could probably make up spaces for you to sleep just down in the family room, if that would be acceptable."
That would be very generous of you.
Yes, that would be lovely. Thank you so much for your generosity.
"Oh, you're very welcome. We do get up early in this house. I am out just after sunrise to go to work, and the kids are off to school. But Nancy can make sure that you're taken care of and directed to wherever you need to go. She might even be able to take you part of the way in and act as a bit of a guide." And he looks at his wife and says, "Is tomorrow shopping day?" And she went, "Oh yes, it is. I have to go to the grocery. I really should go to shoes. I wanted to go to women's wear just to see, what's new this season." And Robert says, "Yeah, remember, we don't have a lot of money in the fun fund, but if you see something really good and your heart's set on it, we can always I can always work a little overtime." And Nancy just kind of blushes just that little bit. And she says, "I also wanted to go to..." Where the heck did that page go? There we go. Oh yes. Also wanted to go to the hair salon, so that I could get a redo before tomorrow's recital. And Robert says, "Oh, that would be very nice. Yes, definitely."
So, would you be willing to take us in with you, Nancy?
And Nancy says, "Yes, I could at least guide you as far in as retail.
That would be lovely.
And then I could point the directions to wherever you're going from there, whether you're going to service or industry or city hall, or from retail. I can definitely show you where everything needs to go." And I will start. Give me a few minutes. And Nancy gets up and she goes upstairs. And Robert sips his coffee and kind of looks at all of you and says, "So it's probably not a safe question, but what are you doing here from outside? We haven't had anyone here from outside in as long as I can remember. Probably longer.
I think Donovan knows.
We're worried about Mother Mare.
Why would you be worried about Mother Mare?
She might be ill.
Wasn't last time I saw her. Now, that was a couple of months ago.
I've known Mother Mare a very long time, actually.
Oh,
She called me not so long ago. She let me know that her condition that she doesn't like to talk about was starting to act up. So I just came and I have my assistants with me so that we can be quick
Well,
in
we
our
made
assessment.
we had to
and-
make sure to protect Donovan, because you do know, of course, there are monsters, and the group of us were safer in numbers.
I have heard that outside is very dangerous.
Yes.
So I can understand traveling with protectors. That's very, very smart.
And that's how we found
And
ourselves
at
in
that
the
point,
grave.
there's a loud knock at the door, and he just right up and goes, take your mugs and take everything off the coffee table. Go to the kitchen, please. Close the door.
Okay.
Do so.
Absolutely. And
Doing that
There's
and very
that.
quick.
Yep.
Mhm.
So everybody heads
With
kitchen.
all quickness. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So from the kitchen, you can hear him walk over to the door and open the door. And you hear Robert say, oh, good evening, Marshal Mike. And this deep voice goes, good evening, Robert. How are things with you and your family tonight? Robert says, we're doing quite well, thank you. Just a nightly check? The deeper voice goes, yes, indeed. Just want to make sure that my favorite family on this block are doing just fine. Though, you know, if any of your wife's brownie squares happen to end up being left outside on a plate some evening, they wouldn't go amiss. And there's laughter. And then Robert says, well, I'll make sure to tell my wife. Yeah, her brownie squares are always a big hit at the little carnivals, aren't they? And the deeper voice says, oh, yes, they are indeed. So everything is good. You haven't noticed anything different tonight, have you? Robert goes, no, no. Every night is just as wonderful, as comfortable, and as safe as the night before and as the night to come. And the deep voice says, that is the way it always is. Thanks to Mother Mare. You have a wonderful night, Robert. Robert says, thanks for checking in, Marshal Mike. You have a great night too.
Wait
So
for the door to
we heard
close.
all that?
Yes, you are hearing this as it's going on.
Uh-huh.
It is loud enough, easily to be heard. The door to the kitchen is one of those double kind of louvered swing doors.
Okay, yeah.
It's-
Rather
it's-
than
it's
with
not
a
a-
handle
Oh,
or a latch.
yeah,
So there's a
it's-
gap.
Yes,
Could someone have seen through that gap?
yes.
Oh. Could I try?
I like how Donovan's like, ooh, could someone look through the gap? And I was like, yes, me. Yes, you can.
Pen, I
see
think,
through
is
the
also
gap.
just listening very carefully to see, like, does the marshal sounds like they're suspicious, and does Robert sound like he's worried? Like, just to sort of like catch the tone of voice.
And remember as well that if you look through a gap to see them, they can also see you.
If they're
Mhm.
looking.
Would I be able to do like sort of a listen perception or insight sort of?
Yeah, you could. Roll me make that roll for me, but 9s and 10s only.
9s and 10s only?
Yep.
Okay. And insightful applies.
Yes.
Okay. 3 successes. A 10 and a 9.
You haven't heard the way he talks before, so it's hard to say if he's suspicious or not. It might be, but this also might be the same standard questions he asks every night. You'd have to kind of hear a couple. Nothing sets your alarm bells off.
Okay. And Robert's cool as a cucumber.
Yes.
So once Lily has gotten a good enough peek without being seen, she's gonna like back off and get more securely and closer to Motley and go, so anybody ever seen Lord of the Rings? You know,
Oh,
the
like
films?
an ant?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 9 feet tall in a trench coat and a hat.
Oh, but don't they move really slowly though?
Three kobolds?
They
Or an
did
ant.
kill a bunch of orcs.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
not move slowly, but talk slowly. Sorry.
And at that point, you can hear
Ants?
the front door being closed.
I was just like,
Walking tree beings.
yeah, like the ant folk.
Well, I was saying for Lee.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Ants.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So anyone that wants to, you can roll intelligence plus gray mare with difficulties of 9 and up, 9 or 10, to find out what this is from how Lily is describing it, because she's describing it pretty good.
I know this is gonna sound strange, but would my horticulture?
Yes, actually it would.
Nice.
Would my glamour go in or not?
Yes, it would.
Oh, so one more. Yeep. Come back here.
Sorry, what was the difficulty again?
9s and 10s.
Okay.
Three.
Trey.
10.
2
Nothing.
successes.
2 10s and a 9.
Okay. So for those who got 3 and under, you would know that these are inanimate. These are walking creations of glamour. And they come in a variety of different flavors and forms. For those who got 4 and up, you would know specifically this is called a kubera, which is a wood inanimate. Inanimate come in basically wood, water, fire, stone. They're creatures built of natural products.
Elementals.
They kind of have their own court system, kind of also based on the whole elemental process, as opposed to how the changelings have the court system. They are seen in the real world now and again, but very, very rarely.
Elementals.
Yes. Lara, going way back to your second time at court, do you remember the creature person who asked for a moment of your time?
Unfortunately, I do, yes.
That's kind of sounds like a smaller version of this 9-foot tall version. Because if you remember, I described him as having a very bark-like skin.
So I'm going to relay that to the group, saying that this sounds like the thing that we met in court, etc., etc., etc. Still not sure when that moment of time is going to be gone. Or maybe it already is gone. That could be interesting.
Well, so how long is a moment?
Exactly. Nobody's ever specific.
Well, here's the thing: is it depends on the moment. If it's an important moment or an unimportant moment.
Exactly. Hopefully, they only took an unimportant moment.
So,
Okay.
but
After
so
after another
that
moment or so, you can hear Robert walking across the living room, and he opens the swing doors to the kitchen and says, "He's gone, so you are safe."
so that was a marshal,
Yes.
and they all look like that one.
Yes.
What would have
Wow.
happened had we been caught? Now that the children are away.
You would probably be processed.
What is that?
Figure out how we tick.
All we really know is processing. Once you're taken for processing, you're never seen again.
Does it happen often?
It's part of life. When Robert Jr. Comes of majority age and marries, and will step into my position in the design group, he will then become useful, and I will be no longer useful. So I will be processed.
Oh, I see. Different kind of process.
So, like, you don't get to, say, grow old and die of natural causes?
Well, I get to grow old, and I don't know about the dying of natural causes. At the end of your age, you are
You don't
processed.
get to see your grandchildren?
Kids that your kids have had.
No, why would I? That would result in me being useless, and we can't have useless people.
Oh no, grandparents are important.
They're there to spoil the children.
Grandparents are
Pass
very
along
important.
history.
That's what we do now. Town does it, the community does it, and their parents do it.
You'll never change this society by appealing to the morality of the process.
So do you know what being processed means, Donovan?
You ever heard of processed food?
Oh no.
Sure, I've heard of processed food.
Hot dogs.
Soylent Green is
These
people.
people.
Ah,
I have no
Logan's,
idea.
Logan's Run.
Food processor.
This is very much a little bit of Logan's Run in here. Yeah. Without the weird hand jams.
mm,
If I was to speculate, and pardon Robert if I'm speaking of any terms that you may or not understand, feel free to ask and we can clarify as to the best of our ability.
You're from outside. You're going to have your own language in some places, I have no doubt.
If someone, say our good friend Robert here, was determined to be now useless to the society, they would probably be ravaged for the last of their glamour and then destroyed.
That would make sense.
Return to the earth, as it were, Robert, to provide nutrient for the soil, and the process begins anew.
I can think of worse things to happen at the end. Becoming part of nature's cycle. Never thought about it much, but that's actually pretty poetic.
When the lions eat the antelopes eat the grass.
I eat
Lion died to
tomatoes.
keep them
There's
fed.
I eat the tomatoes. There's no reason that tomatoes can't have a piece of me when I'm done with me.
Exactly.
I have a question though. If we go out with your wife tomorrow and we don't have the smiley masks on, Then won't they flag us for processing?
No, it's daytime. Monsters don't come out in the day.
So you don't have to wear your mask during the day.
Yes, you do. You'll be
Oh.
you'll be dealt with as outsiders. Some people will be, I would like to think everyone will be friendly. We are a friendly community, but I don't know the people in the other segments. Um, some may stare, some may think bad things.
What about people in the government segment?
I don't know. I don't work in that segment.
Do you know anyone that does?
No, I do not.
So you got
The
your
moment
mask
we are
with
flagged as outsiders, the moment
graduation?
that Mother Mayor will know we're here.
Oh, Mother Mayor knows everything anyways.
This is true.
So, and he looks at
Okay.
Lily and he says, sorry, there were multiple questions.
Yes, I was asking because I think you had said that you got your mask with when you graduated.
Yes.
Right. So, oh, so there isn't anywhere where, say, that makes the masks.
Well, I'm sure there is, and then they're supplied to the school.
Hmm. Would it be okay if I looked at one?
Oh, yes, certainly.
Okay. So Lily's gonna go over and take one of the masks down and try to figure out what it's like made out of.
It seems to be made out of a light wood, like a really light wood.
Like balsa?
Yeah, but a little tougher. It doesn't feel like something, it doesn't flex well in your fingers. It doesn't feel like something you could break easily.
Okay.
You know, and it is slightly concave, so it fits on the face relatively well.
Is there a strap or any kind of mechanism that holds it on the head?
No.
So there's Lily's just gonna kind of test and try to put the mask on.
You just hold it up, and then you don't. As you lower your hand, it comes down.
Huh. So, but when you wear this, it stays on until you go to take it off.
And Robert says, yes.
Okay.
Each mask knows its person.
Oh, okay. Could I roll something to see if there's any magic or glamour in this thing?
Yes, you can. Give me a kenning plus perception. 7s and up, please.
Can I use my special thing?
Yes, you can. So that means your 10s double.
Perception. Cunning. So it's not an extra die, it's just.
Yep, doubles.
Okay. Okay. For 10s. Should I roll any? And I'm trying to beat
7s and up.
7. Oh wow, that actually came out really good. 3 9s and a 10. Oh, and that's actually a 7. That's not a 1. It was upside down.
Okay, so that's 6 of them. And no, there is no glamour in this.
So nothing. It's just a thin.
There is something that feels weird about it, but you can't really put your finger on it.
Oh.
Like glamour might have been used, an art might have been used in making it. But there is no inherent glamour to the mask itself.
I was kind of, turning around, looking at it. I'm like, huh, I don't know. Pen, what do you? Oh, Pen has wandered off.
Is it? Does it have glamour, Lily?
I feel like something was different was used to make it, but I really don't know. I mean, you can if you want to take a look at it, sure, and just sort of hand it over.
Lara takes a look, and I guess what's the roll again? Sorry, it was perception and kenning.
Yes, please.
Okay. Sorry, difficulty is
7s and up.
okay.
Sorry, I had to powder my nose. What was it?
That's okay. We're taking turns trying to figure out what's hinky in the mask.
Three successes.
No, there is no glamour inherent in the mask at all.
I don't know if you were here when I
Oh,
rolled.
if something was like glamour was infused in the mask. Well, that would explain how each mask knows its owner if some glamour was put into the mask and it would go on the face. Almost like some sort of identification spell. Be a good way to keep track of people in a town, like a census.
Oh.
And keep track of outsiders.
Huh.
They don't have a mask.
Oh.
Do you have anything to add, Donovan?
No, not yet.
I also had a terrible thought, but I'll save that for later.
Oh
terrible
no!
thought.
Please share your terrible thoughts because we're all full of terrible thoughts today.
Well, I'll the masks might be a part of processing. I'm not sure.
Oh no. Okay.
Hmm.
You can keep that thought. I take it back. You can keep that thought. It's fine.
But
Oh, I might be able to make copies of this though. It'll take some work, maybe a little bit of a bunk, but I can make masks.
see,
I'm
that's
actually
what I was wondering if
I'm quite an accomplished artist, you know.
But between the two of us, if we could sort of come up with something, or all of us really.
Sculpture generally isn't my thing, and I would need to take a little bit of glamour from the pool in order to do it.
Whatever you
from
need.
the party funds.
Whatever you need. We just don't want it to hurt you, though. I mean,
Oh, you mean the things we found in that field in what feels like
a long
decades
time ago.
So long.
Some of those I would need to use to borrow some in order to be able to do it because I'm a little bit tapped at the moment.
Well, I mean, because I don't want to take away things from you. So
well, I just don't. I would be able to do it, but I would very much burn out.
Well, that's what I meant. Is if we could come up with an idea or something I could do or something.
To be honest, this might actually just be our best chance of getting into town as it is, because, well, here's the thing. In a fight, you all know that I'm not big and tough and strong. I'm kind of tricky. I'm kind of tricky. I can pick a pocket pretty well and I can sneak around a little bit. But when it comes to actually like combat and stuff, that's definitely very much Alette and Lee. Pretty much useless out. I can talk. I'm a talker. Very good at talking. But this doesn't sound like it's going to be a talking kind of situation, which means that my part in this is going to be making sure that the people that can do the fighty fight shooty shoot, what have you, can actually get to the point where they can do the fighty fight shooty shoot.
Yes,
That'll be my contribution.
I agree.
I would like it if we could do a sneaky sneak and skip all that fighty fight shoot thing.
Well, I mean, once we get to the mayor, there might be conversation. It might be okay. Oh, but depending on how bad her condition is, I prefer not to. But
And depending on how much she hates Donovan,
Yeah.
That's another
Yeah.
thing.
she might not be in a right state to accept company.
Whatever you think is best.
But I would need to take at least 2 pieces of dross from the party collection in order to.
What do
be
we
able
still
to accomplish
have?
this.
I have no idea.
Got the flour still, and I think we've got 2 of the little baubles left because we had like 4 of the baubles from the saddle and the horse, or from
Yeah, I'm
the
like,
saddle
well, I
pack
know
on the
there
horse.
was marbles and bottle caps and a
I-
flower and
Yeah, I think we gave like there was 4 of the baubles. I think we gave 2 of the baubles and like a bottle cap worth 1 as payment. I think we've got the flour, which was 4, if I remember correctly, and 2 more of the little marbles, if I'm remembering correctly, to the party funds.
that does sound about right.
Well, was it me carrying them around or was it somebody else?
I think it was you. I think we trusted you with your
Oh,
bag of folding
My bag of mystery.
to
Okay,
take
well
care of the party funds.
then I will rummage around and take out what you need because my brain did a thing.
So I would need the 2 marbles.
Okay, 2
Nope.
marbles.
Or what?
You're going to need the flour.
I'm gonna need the flour.
Yep.
Yeah.
To do this, to make 6 of them is going to be pricey.
Okay, so I would need the flour. So I'm gonna need to take the flour.
Okay.
And oh boy. Okay.
No need to be nervous. No matter what happens, me and Lee are going to be here to protect all of you.
Is there anything anyone else can do to help?
If push comes to shove, I am more than willing to sacrifice Donovan for you.
Agreed.
I am very much.
I
appreciate
Alette,
support that.
yes, I support this, Alette.
I support and endorse this.
You
But
have such
it'll
good
take a little bit of
ideas.
time. It's going to take a fair bit of glamour, and I mean, if anybody knows Legitimate, might be able to help.
Well,
But
the
it
other
is-
the other place
Unfortunately.
the other place where you're going to need assistance is with time.
Mm,
Leisure domain lasts at most a scene. You need someone to manipulate time so the masks last more than the time it takes to stroll downtown.
Yeah. Does anybody? Is anybody?
I
more familiar
actually
with
have-
the time realm.
I have 2 in the time realm, which I never thought I'd actually use.
Surprise.
Surprise. So what do I need to do?
Eat.
Okay, give me a second here while I just double check time.
I was gonna switch that one out. I didn't think I'd ever use it.
Okay, there we go.
We shouldn't be doing this until the following morning, though, anyway, right?
Yeah. But yeah, usually if we get up bright and early to go into town,
Yeah.
just get up a little bit before that and I can make masks.
Perfect.
Get out the macaroni and the sparkle glue.
Actually, at the second level of time, it's called suspended stands. You can decide when the cantrip is going to activate.
Oh.
So you could
Alright.
do everything now and say, there'll be masks in the morning.
Okay.
And can we say like how long those masks will last?
Yes,
then? Okay.
yes. And that'll be dependent on how many successes you get.
Cool. All right. So I would have to roll for it, correct?
Yes, you are going to have to roll legerdemain plus nature because of what the masks are made of.
And my helping, I would have to roll something as well.
You would have to roll time plus chicanery is the closest. So we would do, well, spring, same thing, same number of dice. Time plus chicanery. Now,
Right.
think of a good bunk because adding time actually increases the difficulty.
Okay. A question. I need to remind myself of what the legerdemain bunks are.
Oh, give me a second here to
I believe they're
go.
like magic tricks, sleight of hand sort of thing.
Performances, sleight of hand, replacing items, repeating actions, making rabbit appear out of a child's ear, mirror the movements and actions of another, catching a knife thrown at the changeling. Yes, sideshow acts.
Is the TV still on?
No, it has been turned off.
I'm going to turn the TV on.
Okay.
Is the children's program still on?
No, actually, now it's something that looks like a kind of a cross between the Honeymooners and I Love Lucy, kind of that
Laugh track?
1950s style, laugh track driven, actually live studio audience, no laugh track, live studio
Nice,
audience.
nice.
And you know, off screen, somebody's holding up the laugh sign.
So what I
Of
would
course.
like to do in the
Mhm.
spirit of where we are and what this looks like, I would like to replicate the intro to the Dick Van Dyke Show. So the
Are
walking
you
through
gonna
the
trip
door,
over the ottoman?
honey, I'm home, tripping over the ottoman, doing the pratfall, the whole nine. That is what I'm going to do as my bunk.
That's a pretty good bunk. Okay. And Lara?
Well, what would be a good bunk for time? Like, I'm just trying to think.
Time doesn't have realms don't have related
Sorry,
bunks.
not for
So,
chicanery. Sorry.
Actually, you'd want to be doing something that's legerdemain as well, because what you're doing is you are supporting the legerdemain.
Okay.
So even though you're
So-
using chicanery, you could be using spring, you could be using whatever. You're doing a support.
For this scene, you could be the Mary Tyler Moore to my Dick Van Dyke and take my coat off
I could do that. So I will do
and
that.
do the kiss on the cheek and everything, if that's okay.
Yep, that's
Was
perfectly
this
fine.
something under arts? Is that why I'm not seeing it?
Seeing what?
Legerdemain. Like I've just been
Yeah,
staring.
legerdemain is under arts.
And realm.
Okay.
Just-
I've just been like, okay, I don't under why am I
Yeah.
not seeing it?
All
'Cause
right.
it's not on there, that's why.
Another question for the
Yes.
storyteller.
Yeah.
I have 1 point in nightmare.
Yep. You are
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
so do I.
you are going to put that nightmare dice in. If you get a 1 or a 10, I need to know,
Okay.
because those will both have very different reactions.
Let's.
Okay, so first of all, Robert is just going to be fascinated watching this as you shift things around so that there isn't an ottoman, but there is a low enough side table that you can put it there and go, that's the ottoman. That's what we're going to be doing. Before you do this, I'm actually going to make you roll for the success of the bunk too. You're going to need Dex plus. Oh, you've got nothing to add to Dex.
No,
Darn.
it'd just be straight Dex for me. I don't have performance or anything.
Yeah.
Well,
No
why don't I take
performance,
that?
no
Wait
athletics.
a second. Why don't I take Pen's part and Pen takes mine because I have cat-like reflexes for dexterity.
So you'll be Dick Van Dyke. I'll be.
Yeah, I don't have performance. What else would I mix with this? storytelling?
Athletics.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 1 extra dice, and cat-like reflexes I assume apply.
Would double your 10s. Yeah,
Perfect.
you could. That would allow you to. Yeah. So that actually, if you switch roles, Lyra's got a better chance of more successes, because for every success, I'll knock a difficulty down.
Okay.
So are you actually gonna do it where one of you goes outside the door?
We'll do it from the kitchen. We'll pretend the kitchen's the front door, just so that way. we
Yeah,
don't have
all
to
it
go
Okay.
takes is
outside.
coming in through a door.
Okay. I just
So 5 dice, please, and you want to get 7s or better.
Okay, so that's 3 successes.
You're muted.
Sorry, 3 successes.
You're muted.
Muted on Zoom.
Unmuted the wrong thing. Sorry, 3 successes.
3 successes? Excellent. So Robert steps back. Everyone else watches as Lyra steps in from the kitchen. Pen takes her coat, kisses her on the cheek. She takes a few steps, tumbles gracefully over the low table, and lands on the ground. So 3 successes. So it's actually 2 down because the time adds 1. So you're going to be rolling with difficulties of 8 to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6. So 6 isn't up.
Or higher. Okay.
Much better.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I already rolled that. So
Good.
I actually have 4 successes, but the nightmare dice is a 10.
Okay, first of all, you get another nightmare. So you get a second nightmare dice this time. Woohoo! Or going forward. Okay, so but 4 6. Okay, that is excellent. And the nightmare dice being a 10, that's going to be really, really interesting. Okay, Pen.
And I had 5 successes.
Yep.
The nightmare die was a 9.
Oh, you missed that one just beautifully. You missed that one just beautifully. Okay, so the flower basically kind of withers and turns into dust. Successes and 4 successes and a 10. As it does, now there are 4 hooks on the wall by the front door, or 4 pegs, 2 with masks on them. And then below that are 4 pegs with 4 coats. When you finish, there is a ghost-like shimmering addition to the pegs. And now there are 6 more pegs along the wall. The top pegs all have these kind of ghostly masks hanging from them. Below them are 6 coats. 1 long, dark brown trench coat and fedora, and 5 other fairly stylish coats of various lengths and types, though all within a certain kind of, again, 1950s look. You know, think light spring coat, 1950s.
The colors
Already
are kind
picturing
of
it in my
muted
head. I
as
know what it
well.
looks like.
Everything right now is muted because they seem to have this ghostly presence to them.
Are they going to become more solid when the time comes for us to actually take them?
Well, that's what you're hoping.
Okay.
They
Because they were supposed to not appear, like the bunk, or it wasn't.
were not supposed to appear until the time you had decided the next morning. However, Nightmare
Okay.
Dice decided
Right.
to do something a little different. So they've appeared. Hopefully they become solid when you want them to become solid. Okay.
Fingers crossed.
And at this point, Nancy's going to come back into the room and basically tell you that she's made up 6 little sleeping spots downstairs. Is everyone good being in the same room?
Well, that's okay.
Oh, that's perfect.
So-
Fine.
So she takes you all downstairs to show, and it's a large family room downstairs. It's a big play space. It's got a piano in one corner. It's got obviously a games table with 4 chairs around it. It's got a crokinole board sitting on top of it. There are shelves with a couple of board games. Nothing you recognize. There's a couple of other shelves with books. They mostly seem to be either related to furniture design, home tutoring for certain subjects like math, English, or there are a couple of novels. Again, nothing familiar at all.
There's not even a crokinole board.
No, crokinole board is on the table.
Yes.
That's the one thing that you can recognize. And on the floor are 6 kind of, obviously she has used every pillow and spare blanket in the house to make 6 kind of like floor pallet
Nests.
spots that people can, it's not going to be comfortable, but beats the heck out of like sleeping on a barn floor. And Robert says, I'm going to trust you will all sleep as comfortably as you can here. Is there a time you would like to be raised in the morning?
Well, whatever time your wife decides to go into town,
Oh, well, you'll want time for breakfast and perhaps cleaning up as well.
obviously. Yeah.
So yes, we can, we'll make sure. I will knock you all up before I head to work.
Thank you so much for your hospitality. We appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Thank you for being kind.
Well, you were being kind.
It is what we do.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Light switch is just right over there. Good night. Sleep well.
Okay.
You as well.
Thank you. You too.
And he
Thank
and
you.
Nancy go up and up the stairs.
I wonder if they dream here.
Don't
I
know.
wonder what I'll dream in here. Oof.
Nothing good.
We will potentially find out next game, because that's a wonderful place to wrap it up as everyone settles in and gets ready to sleep. And that gives me a week to decide just what kind of dreams we're going to be having in this wonderful land called the world of town.
Oh,
Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo.
Doot doot.
Do.
Doody, 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 doody.
I am so close to, and it's something only us old folk would know, but I am so close to causing copyright issues by going, it's the world of town is a very funny place where everyone has a funny face
And the streets are paved with gold.
and nobody ever grows old.
What is that from?
Probably fine.
It's an
that
old
is from
animated
the
cartoon.
Wizard of Oz cartoon.
Oh, you told me they did do a cartoon of that.
I did. I even showed you a bit of it. And yes, it was scary. So thank you very much, viewers, for tuning in. Thanks for any people who are following, any people who have tossed out some subs. Let's give a chance for all the Motley to say thank you. Thanks for coming back to us for season 2. We're looking forward to having you on this journey, because it's going to, if you thought last season was interesting, oh, buckle up. We're in for some real fun now. Now that the Motley settled in, the really interesting stuff can start to happen. So we will go in reverse order so that these folk can tell you who they are, where you can find them, and what they're going to do. So let us start with our wonderful Lily.
Yes. Crystal playing Lily Winters, your friendly neighborhood court. I am not really on social media, but I am here playing with all these cool cats, and it's a good time. So, and there's a cat. See,
Cat.
we come prepared with cats. But yeah, it's good. You should come watch us and hang out and have a good time. And who goes next?
Thank you, Lily. Let's shift up to Alette.
Hey everybody, Kitty Kimchi, and tonight I played Alette, your zookeeping puka. You can catch me over on over at Martlet, where I'll be playing TTX, your club bouncing Bruja baddie. And you can catch me over on at Twitter at she's Malaysian.
Sweet. Thank you, Alette. Next up, we have Lee.
Hey everyone. Once again, I'm Rose, she, her, playing Lee, she, her, and here's my outro. I am a creative partner with Martlet Games, as well as a partner and player here, actually on Vancouver by Night. If you like what you see here, oh daddy, just you wait. Every Fridays you can catch me playing Elena Caldwell in a D&D 5e homebrew campaign set in Icewind Dale, which is called Saxter's Adventures. We play, like I said, on Fridays at 5:30 p.m. PST. You can also catch me on TikTok at Rose Bulbasaur and keep up to date on my social medias, which is Twitter and Instagram at Rose_Bulbasaur. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Penn.
Hi, everybody. I'm Anita or Panita or Critical Misses. You can find me everywhere online at Panita or at Critical Misses. I am a TTRPG streamer, producer, graphic designer, and cat mom. About the space. This is Pisces. You can find me over on Critical Misses, streaming 3 days a week, Mondays for Kingsguard, a Roll20 Spotlight show, where we play D&D 5e and set in the homebrew world of Gloria. You can find me there Wednesdays behind the scenes or in chat for Blue Ghost, which is a Blades in the Dark campaign. And Fridays, I GM and produce the Star Trek Adventures show, The Lost Frontier. And then Saturdays, you can find us every weekend for Morning Ritual, which is our TTRPG talk show. And our guest, by the time this airs, is going to be Mustang's Art, or Sarah. We're very excited to talk to her about, or them, about the TTRPGs, about the combat wheelchair, and all that awesome stuff. Yeah. Until
Cool.
next time.
Sweet.
Bye.
Thank you. And Lara, please.
Hello, my name is Joanna, and I was playing Lara for you. And you will find me on Twitter at Hyrule Gardner. You will find me here on Saturdays playing Abigail, the techie Tremere, for the Saturday Takeover on Delve into Darkness. You will occasionally find me on our YouTube and Patreon with little bits and pieces. If you can, please subscribe to our YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything, and there is some great content there. Lots and lots and lots of content. And our Patreon's only $1 for the first tier, and it gets you also lots of great extra little tidbits and content. So by all means, if you are able, to subscribe or head over to our Patreon. And that's it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you. And batting cleanup, we have our guest of the week, Mr. Donovan Osgood.
I think I'm wearing up my welcome. I don't know. And hi, everybody. I play Donovan. My name is Mike, he, him. You can catch my pre and post COVID cosplay adventures at Canadian Captain America or CDN Captain America on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter. And Twitter is where I do most of my D&D ranting. And you can also catch me on Sundays playing in our Fandolin by Night game, also on this channel, from 2 to 4 p.m. PST, where I am a cleric of a questionable god. And Tuesdays, I can be seen DMing my own game set in the world of Greyhawk, 5th edition, would-be heroes. Can't think of it. Nobody else is here on that one. And other than that, you'll probably see me here for the small amount of future still. There's a bit of stuff still to do.
They got to find the altar in the town hall to sacrifice you on. I mean, that's
Well,
going to take at
exactly.
least one more game.
Exactly.
That's the downside of Changeling. No diablerie. You have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Womp womp. Yeah.
Just a cold steel
I have
dagger.
to ritualistically drain all the glamour out of me before they.
And my name is Cliff. I have been the storyteller for tonight, which means the guy who sets it up and lets them knock it down and kick it all over the place and do amazing things with it, which this Motley always does. You can find me here on the Wednesday nights, of course, with this fantastic crew. You can also find me Saturdays over on Vancouver by Night as part of the Vampire Saturday Takeover, where I play a quiet and unassuming Giovanni Taylor. Who never gets up to any kind of shenanigans, because
Oh,
that would be above him. You can also find me, I'm not sure when, but you know what, go over, give some love to Dark Druid Designs and Prince William by Night. They are an awesome group of people who do amazing stuff on Monday nights. And there might be rumor of my doing some other stuff coming up in the near future, but you're going to have to kind of tune in order to find out what's going on and where. So thank you very much for joining us. As I said, we hope you've enjoyed the ride, and you come back and see us next week to see where things go as the Motley starts to explore town. Have a great night. Stay safe, stay comfortable, stay warm. Unless you're someplace warm, then stay cool.
And sweet dreams.